Welcome, everyone, to Too Many Chefs, Episode 19, Grilling, Barbecue, and Picnics. It's been quite some time since we've did an episode of Too Many Chefs, and I'm very glad to be back to discuss one of my many passions, cooking. And as always, let us start off by showing our gratitude and appreciation for all those that have chosen to spend their time with us here today. We have the man with two first names. It's the Costanza, Jay Diz, Steve Callan, and a few more people around that are slowly filtering in. And obviously, the thumbs up are already getting up there, but that is just a testament of how much we trigger those that hate what we do, despite claiming that we can't do anything but one particular type of topic, and yet we're quite skilled in many more. But there's Cora in the chat. Shout out to her. And today's episode, we'll be talking about grilling, barbecuing, and picnics, just as the title says. And there's quite a lot to talk about, but before we continue, I just want to remind everyone that the concept of Too Many Chefs is that we allow everyone on the same call at the same time, and the more the merrier. And if you wish to call in, feel free to contact me on Skype at Devious Dave Rose. So, it is summertime, essentially, and it's been quite hot for some people, actually. And barbecuing is one of the quickest ways, essentially, to make your food, to remain outdoors, and at least not have to deal with an extremely hot kitchen during the summer. Because even with your air conditioning blasting, you're going to have to deal with building up a lot of heat, depending on what you're making. And kitchens are usually smaller areas. If you have an open concept house, that heat is now adding to the rest of the house's temperature rise. And it just makes things a lot more challenging. But one thing that's advantageous is that when you're outside, obviously there's wind and there's other factors that keep the temperatures somewhat cool. Sometimes you might have a pool next to you. But even in the evenings, this is great because as summer starts to progress into fall, although the days are hot, the nights start to get nice and crispy, nice and cool, and it's perfect for having a nice barbecue or a grilling. We're going to go into that in a moment. But it is a great way, especially during the hotter months, to be able to continue to eat delicious foods but not have to deal with the incumbent problems that come with working in a small kitchen or a kitchen that's confined that heats up especially quickly, and you having to deal with an already high temperature. So, let's start off by talking about the difference between grilling and barbecuing. Now, grilling is normally for quick and high heat. It's fast. Think about hot dogs, hamburgers, certain vegetables, thinly sliced cuts of meat, including those that might be on a brochette. Now, you Americans and other uneducated folk might try to call them kebabs, which they're not. That's Mediterranean. They might try to call them skewers, but those are the actual pieces of metal that skewer the meat. Any skewer with meat on top of it or on it is referred to as a brochette. And that is normally what you would grill. It's quick, high heat, and fast. But barbecuing goes a lot further than that. It requires low heat, especially for meats that aren't as tender. and require a lot more cooking time. It can go even further than that, where if you are barbecuing, that is low heat, long time, or some people say slow and steady, or slow and low, is smoking. And this is where you introduce dried wood chips, which you wet them. You have to get them soaked, okay? And depending on the type of wood that's used in the smoking process is how an additional layer of flavor gets placed onto your meat. So that takes the concept of barbecuing, specifically with charcoal, a lot further. But there is a big difference between charcoal and barbecue. Before we do that, I just want to go to look at the chat here, see what people are saying. Cora says, I have to turn down the fan when I have anything playing on computer so I can hear. So it looks like a lot of people are dealing with the heat these days. And again, think about those who might be slaving in a kitchen. So you go out, you are too hot to cook. You're just, I don't want to. I don't even want to do a barbecue. I just want to go out and eat. I want to go to a restaurant. I want them to serve me, and I want to be able to eat. Now, if you think it's hot, think about the person who's slaving behind the scenes 12 hours a day in that kitchen to serve you your food, and they're dealing with even worse conditions. So just understand that if you do go out to eat, that there are people that are, that would also like to be in the same position as you are. But let's get to a very important point, a point that's actually a major issue of contention for many people. I believe wars have started over this, and it is the use between charcoal and propane. Now, I will tell you straight up from the get-go that I do not like propane. I prefer charcoal, and I do believe it is the superior when it comes to grilling and barbecuing. However, and obviously I've eaten hamburgers and other things that have come from a propane grill. And I don't know, there's something in that propane that that isn't unattractive in the sense, like I can taste it, but it's just like, well, I guess it's not that bad sort of thing. But it's just like it's an additive, obviously because you're using gas here and it's a specific type, and it just doesn't feel right. So although, you can taste anything that's made with propane, some people just sort of accept it. And some people have never actually tried food that was made on charcoal, so they don't understand the difference between that and propane. And once they do, they enter a new world, because charcoal literally is the superior product. And here's something else that's extremely important to address. So before we do that, I'm just going to do this. But actually, no, we'll do this first and then we'll talk about that. So just for people, here in the chat here, I'm going to provide a infographic. So, a nice, quite simple guide to follow. So obviously charcoal grill on the left, you have to control the temperature manually. It is cheaper because there's a lot less functioning parts in it. And two-zone fire, they say, but you have to regulate that as well. You separate the coals from one side to another, and obviously it gives a smoky charred flavor. I mean, yeah, this infographic's a little, this is even dumb for bullfrog, but let's continue. A gas grill, as they refer to it here, obviously you have the ability to control the temperature with a knob. Also includes a two-zone fire. They're obviously more expensive because there's more moving parts and requires additional components to function. And yeah, there's no smoky flavor unless you add what they call a smoke box, which is, again, what I was referring to when it comes to smoking the barbecue with wood chips, is that it'll give it that distinctive flavor. So unless you add that attachment to a propane grill, it won't have that flavor. But you'll notice that propane flavor, and I don't like that. I personally do not like that flavor. And it's noticeable. That's the thing. It's not something that is that just passes like, oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah, it was made on propane. It's like, no, I know this burger was made on propane. And the thing is, though, it's not that healthy either. I mean, it's effective, but that's why, because they can sell it and do it at such high quantity that a lot of people end up using it. But exactly, thank you. Out with cows. That was actually something that I should have put on my list here, but it's just convenience, and that is something that this particular topic we're talking about right now really highlights. Is what's more important, convenience and lower quality food and potentially additives that will make you sick in the future, or making that extra effort to essentially do what our ancestors did for literally hundreds of thousands of years, is to tend to a fire. Remember, the person who tended to the fire, whether it be 200 years ago with a native, or it could be today with a fucking native tribe anywhere in the world that's not exposed to regular, outside influence, to something, to events that happened 100,000 years ago. The same thing is the same. Is that the person who tends the fire is an important role. Why? Because tending to the fire is an important thing. That's why I believe barbecuing and grilling our food is just like making fire. It's something that's it's beyond time. It's beyond words, because we've been doing it so long. It's now ingrained into our souls itself, into our fiber. So this is something that we're naturally good at because we've been doing it for so long, and it's ingrained itself into our very fiber and essence. So the point I'm making is, we look at today the convenience, what I've referred to as the Walmart American, and you have the quick ability to just throw a bunch of food onto a propane grill and cook it fairly quickly and such. But it's something that obviously isn't better than the alternatives out there, and it's just so noticeable in the food. Yeah, Out with Cows get it. He says, yeah, same reason people eat McDonald's over home cooking for cheaper. Yep. Jay just says, I like both, but charcoal has a better tasting food. I need to invest in getting a smoker. Well, let's bring up the next image here, because this, here's the thing. This is when it, like, I have a problem going into stores that have these sorts of things in them, whether it be Cabela's, Canadian Tire, Home Hardware, Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot. I find myself encountering these things and bigger things, larger things. And it's just like, oh, tempting, so tempting, so tempting. Because, and this is a low-end model, the one I'm showing right now. There are so many different models. There are people that take a gasoline barrel and they'll cut it in half and they'll make it into this super large barbecue. And then they'll attach a smaller container to the side, and again, very similar to this, and create a smoker. And these are like ribfest level type barbecues. They're incredible. So yeah, it's like a kid in a candy store. And there are so many different types. And that's the thing, though. You don't have to go crazy, though, because there's even things like this, by the way, Weber, Canadian brand, one of the best brands on the planet. And you could find something very simple just like this. And it won't cost you too much. It'll be good quality. It'll last. And they've got a bunch of different attachments you can use. They're always publishing videos on strategies on what to do to maintain them, use them, recipes, and yeah, they're definitely very useful, and you can make a lot of them. I can't remember the exact diameter of the grill area, but yes, it is large enough to make quite a lot of stuff. All right, so I'm just checking the chat quickly to see if there's anything else that was said. But in regards to charcoal, this is one last thing I do want to mention, is that you have two different types of charcoal essentially available. You have basically wood lump, they call it, or lump charcoal also. And then there's briquettes. Now, this is the same with propane with me. I can taste the difference when it comes to briquettes being used as opposed to lump charcoal. Reason being is that and you'll notice this, the briquettes are the ones that all look identical. They literally look that they were a cookie cutter type, made in a factory, and they all look the same. They're all the same size. They all look identical. That stuff is actually treated. So it's actually made to not burn up that quickly, so you have a fire retardant on there, and it's made to burn at lower temperatures, okay? So already, that is a fucking red flag for me. And like I said, if I detect, I can detect the taste of those types of charcoal being used, or that type of charcoal being used, as opposed to, in comparison to lump. And I very much urge people against utilizing, briquettes, because they have additives, and these things are soaked into your meat. Let's examine it this way. Briquettes were obviously created with a reason for them, because of convenience. Again, going back to what Out of Cows was saying, or Out with Cows. And we all recognize this, it seems. That, yeah, it's convenient stuff, but it's made for the boomer, the one that has, led America to where it is right now. And that's not really a good place. So this convenience stuff really hasn't helped out very well. And it also, is just dangerous, and it's full of chemicals. That alone should convince anyone. You don't need to do, shit. If you can go and cook food over a wood fire, just wood, then you don't need anything extra. This is just about convenience. So if it takes a little more time for lump charcoal to be lit properly, if you need to use what's called a chimney to get the charcoal going before you put it into the actual pan itself, well, then so be it. But to rely not only on briquettes, and I've seen people do this before, it disgusts me, it really does. They'll use briquettes, then they'll put lighter fluid on those briquettes, so an additional element there. It's not really an element, but it's a chemical. And then they light it up. So you have all these different chemicals combining together. And then these people just slap meat on it like, hey, no problem there. So I'm very much anti-briquette and pro-lump. And yeah, that's what a chimney is for, okay? It's basically, it looks like a big metal mug with a wooden handle, and it's got a little metal sort of plate a few inches up from the bottom, which has holes in it, so air can come through. You fill it with charcoal. Underneath, you put the newspaper. You light it so the newspaper starts to catch the charcoal on fire. Then the rest of it, you have to let it burn for 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30, but then eventually all of them are like glowing red. That's what you want. Pour them on half your barbecue, put your grill back on, and get to work. So yeah, it'll take a little bit more work, but that's the thing though. Barbecuing and grilling truly is artisanry for me. And it takes more than just a simple fucking, cheap fire and, flipping over a couple of burgers to, qualify you. So for those who don't want to take care when it comes to this art form, don't come talking to me about, oh, well, it's convenient and like, oh, no, I don't think so. The artisan form is through coal, and if you can't, charcoal, and if you can't do that, then you have no place to speak. Back to the chat here, we've got the Nine God himself, Nicky Nines, who says, if you have to use lighter fluid, let it burn off an extra 15 minutes so it gets off. I can't endorse said actions. Those are his and his alone, so you'll have to take that up with him. But I just want people to watch out for that stuff, because I think, why is it necessary? Why would you even need that if, in fact, it was as good as it should be? So it's the convenience factor. It's, laziness and excessive chemicals to sell off to the American public. So. But let's continue now. Now that we've determined essentially what is the superior form of cooking, let's take a look now of the foods that one can cook. So, obviously, hamburgers are the go-to. That's what people think when people think grilling, barbecuing. That's what most people think immediately. Hamburgers and hot dogs. And obviously, you can cook additional things, as we'll get to. But hamburgers and hot dogs are the usual, go-to. It's the de facto that people envision when they think about a barbecue. And they really do embody a barbecue. And they're just spectacular. I love having barbecued burgers. And obviously, that smoky charcoal flavor just adds to them. Adds to just the superiority of that burger itself. And yes, out with cows, I should be adding that disclaimer. I said I would. I haven't. But yes, this show will make you hungry. Sorry, that's just how it works. He says, I'm heating up a chicken rice frozen meal and Domino leftovers. Yeah, I can see why this is definitely causing you a little bit of distress. But hey. And another thing is that this Monday will be a long weekend for me. It'll be the civic holiday. And it's basically a statutory holiday. So it's also referred to as Simcoe Day, at least here in Ontario. And anytime there is a long weekend in Ontario, it is a guarantee that barbecues will be had. And I, for one, plan to partake in the festivities. And look up John Simcoe if you want. Very cool story behind him. In fact, maybe, in fact, Nicky Nines and I will review that. Perhaps he'd be interested in some Ontario history. Because I grew up learning about that. And yeah, there's some badass fucking history in Ontario. There was a rebellion and shit. There was, yeah. So, cool stuff to learn about. So maybe we'll do a Smug Canadians to address that. But back to the episode here. And shout out to the 20 viewers that are watching right now and the 9 downvotes that definitely show me that I really should just pack it in and quit YouTube because I've got no other content to talk about. But, well, here's the thing, Raka. Raka's right now saying, Raka's from Australia. And yes, Australia literally is trying to kill him, just like everything else there and everyone else there. But he says, it's breakfast time now for me, you prick. Well, that's the thing, though. You are the land of barbecue. You know, barbecue, put some shrimp on the bobby. So I'm sure that you can easily just step outside to your outdoor kitchen. Just shoo the snakes off your barbecue and just pull up a hamburger, you know, put a little egg on top, and you got yourself a breakfast sandwich. So, hamburgers, hot dogs, typical fare for barbecuing. And look, yes, we're talking about grilling here, but the term barbecuing just right now, unfortunately, it's just an umbrella term. It's like back in the 80s, you kids won't know this, but back in the 80s, photocopying was just referred to as just Xeroxing. Oh, just go Xerox it. Because the reason was because Xerox, the company, had the biggest stake on photocopiers. So they just, like, it was just the word. It's like Google. It's not like go search go use a search engine, a web browser search engine on the internet. No, it's like go Google it. So it's the same thing there. So when I'm going to, henceforth, talking about barbecuing, understand that I'm referring to grilling, barbecuing, and, cooking, utilizing these methods. So please, I don't need somebody to point out every time that I might not be using it absolutely in total reference, because nobody gives a shit about that. So, hamburgers, hot dogs, delicious stuff. And in regards to this topic here, let me just change the image. Like I said, the use of charcoal makes a burger perfect. Those flames that you get from the fat and the juices coming out from that burger, just it's like it's getting an injection of life as those flames rise and just scour the burger and then die down again. It really adds a ton of flavor to it. And it is satisfying as someone who works the queue to, to see a good quality burger grilled properly and to get that reaction from the fire and to get those nice grill marks as well. Yeah, and that's a thing as well, I think that's important to talk about, is that the structure of a burger is important, really important. And yes, patties you can make if you really spend a lot of effort, but normally you buy. And they're really compressed and stuff, so you're not going to get much breakdown. But if you make your own burgers, you can deal with potential crumble. Depends on how you make it, and that's another episode altogether. Because I mean, it's almost like there's a war going on between the burger camps as to whether or not you use egg, you don't use egg, you use bread, you don't use bread. There's and the consistency and the size, like that's going to be a separate episode, just burgers. But it's it does affect the way obviously that you grill, and with the type of fire that you have available, it affects the flavor, and as such, you have to adjust your cooking accordingly. So, I mean, I love a big, fat, thick burger, medium rare, but, it's obviously got to be cooked properly for me, and I prefer no propane and all that. And I just don't like them when some people, it might be that big, but they just overcook it, and it just becomes crumbly and dry, and it's just like, no, I prefer my burgers medium rare. But the thing is, though, you can't expect a patty to be medium rare. So you're getting just, well cooked through, but it's not overcooked. It's enough that you still have the juices, but it's sufficiently cooked, and it's nice and charred and grilled on the outsides. to add to that additional flavor. Jay Diz in the chat says, I make my own patties when it comes to hamburgers. Buy it from the butcher and make the ingredients yourself. Yes, I do prefer making my own burgers myself because, again, I get to adjust that thickness because, again, I like those fat burgers and I like to have a medium rare burger. No, there's an actual chef in the chat here, Gabe Rodriguez. Thank you for coming out. It's been a while. Hoping eventually you'll call my ass up and actually, share your skills. I only play a professional here on YouTube. But, yeah, hopefully soon. But, yes, when it comes to making burgers, I definitely prefer it. And I do like to experiment when it comes to making burgers. I like to try different things, see how the meat reacts to certain ingredients. Again, like the whole thing with the egg, with the breadcrumb, sometimes using things like parsley or onions. What do you mean my email? My Skype is Devious Dave Rose. Yeah, call me up right now. Devious Dave Rose on Skype. You should find that as the username. You should find that as the contact email. That's me. The Drama Emperor. But yes, burgers, it's just, to me, there's nothing more summer, nothing more, I don't know, nostalgic, I would have to say, to my childhood youth, than biting into a nice, juicy burger, especially, at a barbecue, outside, not picking it up from McDonald's or something like that, but literally, and I haven't been to McDonald's in ages, but having a barbecue, having a party, whatever, and just eating that outside, like nothing is more nostalgic than that. Let me move on to another image here. And yes, when it comes to, hamburgers and hot dogs, they're really great because they're easy to make, they're quick. You can feed, a fair bit of people. You have a variety as well. And, you can match them up with a lot of different things. So, and especially, again, going back to the whole summer thing and the nostalgia even for me, is that adding the accompaniment of potato chips to a barbecue meal, wow. Like and I started to think back on this as I was putting this show together. It's just like, wow, this has really hit me in the feels. Because it's like, the memories are coming back. Like, I just really remember going to, like, pool parties or family get-togethers or whatever. And barbecue outside, celebrating, and these sorts of, foods would be available. And you could, and you get, as, the kid there, get to choose what toppings you get, and, you make your own burger and stuff, or your own hot dog. You choose your toppings, and you get a side of potato chips too. I don't know, potato chips weren't really a big thing in my household as a child, so maybe that's another reason why I always thought that was something special, because I didn't get them very often. I remember going to the store as a kid and picking up those little, small-sized bags of chips. And, that maybe pop and a comic book or something. And, it was like one of those things that you did as a kid that was like, I'm being independent, I'm being allowed to be on my own. I'm using this money that I have on what I want, and this is a special event for me. So the chips definitely, are nostalgic in that sense. Let's see here. Let's go to this next image. Now, I don't know about the experience of the audience, but when it comes to doing barbecuing and grilling and stuff, that there really it's just there's so many different things that you can do, and so many different types of meat. There's so many different types of cuts that you can use, and it as someone who just enjoys this, to me, I like that variety. I like to cook different types of food. Um, and to me, I like the challenge of trying to do it all at once, during an event like this, like a barbecue party or something. So, there's obviously goes a lot that goes into it a lot, preparation and such. But to be able to present your guests with a bunch of different foods, and the challenge is trying to make sure that everything gets done all at the same time so that it's presented. It's not like, oh, okay, here's just the meat and the veggies will be done in 20 minutes. No, you want to be able to present it, so you got to calculate proper. So that's also something that, it's part of the challenge. But the different types of foods that you can make utilizing a barbecue are just incredible, and that's again to me what makes it so enticing. This most primitive type of cooking utensil lets you make just about any meal and make it better than most places, make it healthier than most places, and allow you to control the way that it comes out. So this looks like flank steak here. Thinly cut flank steak. It could be veal, but it's obviously marinated. Looks great. You got some vegetables as well, which are on skewers. So that would be a vegetable skewer or a brochette de végétal. And then you got a few dogs there. It looks like sausages. But yeah, nice array of different foods there that are available. And just like this one here, you can, depending on the size of your grill, but the Weber I showed you is very similar to this size. You can display quite a lot and cook a very large variety of different items for your guests or for yourself. I mean, I don't expect you to entertain every weekend, but if you're hungry, you have a family to feed, or you just like variety, then the barbecue is just great. And it might take a little bit more work, but you have control over how it cooks. And vegetables, which we're going to get to in a bit, are something that I think are integral to barbecues. A lot of people, I think, sort of shrug them off. They say gross, they ignore them. But grilled tomatoes, for example, covered with some oregano and some virgin olive oil, delicious. Absolutely delicious. Corn. Corn done either right over the charcoal barbecue or you put that thing right in the fire. Obviously, you'd have to have soaked it if that was the case. But the husk will protect it and it'll come out nice and cooked, but and a nice smoky flavor. But with the barbecue, with the grill, you can make yourself delicious corn, and it's got that nice flavor, that smoky flavor, and obviously you're basting with butter. And you can, at that point, if you want, you can start to add if you want seasoning. I'm not big on seasoning, but you can add a little bit at that point. But some people might add a little chipotle powder, chili powder, something just to spice it up a little. And I'm not gonna disagree, but I say tread carefully and choose how you like it. Be sure you like it before you do that sort of thing or commit. Let's see here. Things like zucchini. Zucchini is just incredible once it starts to cook properly over a barbecue. It'll take some time. It's a tougher type of vegetable, but once it cooks through properly, it loses a lot of its strong biting flavor and still remains like it's got a nice creamy flavor. Good, very good. Man with two first names in the chat says, "Hey Dave, what's your take on acrylamide? I don't know what that is." So yeah, back to the foods that you can eat from our favorite device, the grill. There's chicken breasts, which when you can slice them up nice and thin, will cook very quickly. And obviously chicken is a problem when it's a concern for some people. And if not cooked right, yeah, it could be a problem. But you save time. A little bit of prep work goes a long way. You save time by essentially perhaps slicing these things up, maybe marinating them in some, well, there's a lot of different things, but you could use lemon juice, for example. Chicken and lemon juice, mixed up with some salt, pepper. That's really all you need. I like simplistic recipes because I think they're probably the most flavorful. You don't need to pile on the crap into anything in any part of life. If you're piling on too much crap, it's not adding anything, it's taking away. But if 3-4 ingredients work well, you're getting more of that flavor. So, take a chicken breast, slice it in 2 or 3, nice and thin. Put it in a Ziploc bag for 15-30 minutes with some lemon juice, salt and pepper. Let it marinate for a bit, well covered. Place it out, that stuff will probably cook within, it'll be done in 10 minutes, obviously. It'll probably be done sooner, like 6 to 8 minutes. But, you want to make sure that if you want those nice grill lines, high heat first and then move it. If you want to keep browning it, and this is another thing that people don't understand is when it comes to a barbecue is that the heat's uneven throughout the entire thing. Even if you have half hot, like charcoals on one side and nothing on the other, the furthest side from those charcoals is still going to be colder than the one closer to it. So you're going to have to be maneuvering this stuff and just start to learn the ways of the force, especially of your particular grill/barbecue. So it takes, obviously, some time. Or like me, you just have that innate ability, like Anakin Skywalker. It's with the chicken, a little bit of prep work gets this stuff done very quickly. And you can put together a nice big array like you have here, and you have a bunch of sausages and chicken breasts, and it looks like there's a few potatoes on top. But with proper planning and proper prep work, it doesn't take very long. When you're grilling this stuff, it's literally within 10 minutes it's time to eat. But obviously barbecuing, because it takes lower heat and longer times, will require you to be much more patient with that. Back to the chat here. Nikki9 says, onions and portobello mushrooms be my favorite. And yes, we'll talk about those in a moment too. Jada says, need to work on my grilling of vegetables. Normally I'm steaming my vegetables. Steaming isn't bad at all, actually. It's actually quite healthy. It retains a lot of the nutrients. But grilling also, it retains nutrients too. They change. Once it's cooked, some of those nutrients are lost. But sometimes the compounds that remain, are healthy, effective for certain body functions and so forth. So either way, it's just like, here's the thing, vegetables are vegetables. They're good for us. They're fucking, in fact, amazing, which is probably why what's his name? Bullfrog hates them. But whether it be steamed, whether it be grilled, whether it be fried, I personally love vegetables. Love vegetables. And raw, I could literally just grab a head of lettuce, and just go away at that. Just go to town, because I love it. I love that stuff. So back to what Jadis was saying, when it comes to the grilling of the vegetables, there's a lot that you can do. We'll get to that, actually. He says, grilled onions are probably my easiest on the grill. Yeah, they're easy to make, especially if you get the small ones. Yeah, you got those baby onions and stuff, and you can make them real quick on the grill and stuff. And I like baked onions, for example. I make them with a pan of potatoes, along with garlic, and because they don't really caramelize, but they soften. They taste delicious. They lose that bite, and they got sort of a nice creamy, smooth texture, and they're just absolutely delicious. Just like garlic, it loses that strong bite, but it's still I'm drooling here. It's baked garlic's delicious. I could eat cloves of that shit. It's that good. We'll tack this. This is not a cooking show. This is a show where we discuss cooking. It's called Too Many Chefs. So if you want to call in, share your opinion, that would fit with what we're trying to do here, is get many people on the call so that we can have discussions. Henceforth, I have yet to receive a call, despite Gabe saying that he was going to call in. Man with two first names, so we have to address that. Jada says, yep, I season all my meat in a Ziploc bag with up to 3 to 4 seasonings. Beast Incarnate says, Dave, what are your thoughts on stadium food barbecue? Surprisingly, some stadiums I have visited had great hot dogs and burgers. It makes watching a baseball game in the summer more enjoyable. Now, actually, I really do think this is a great question. I have not been to many sporting events in my life. I've been to, I would have to say, probably a dozen. Argo games, Blue Jay games. What else did I see? Hockey games, like not NHL, like just Ontario hockey, all these different sort of small leagues and stuff. What else was there? So it was mostly CFL. And the thing is, though, the prices were just so expensive that it was just like, we chose actually to eat before we went there, so that we wouldn't have to spend $15 on a fucking small beer or something. So, but there's been times where I've been at a sporting event and I was forced to buy something. I was just fucking starving, whatever. And it's just like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm actually doing this. I'm spending $8.99 for a slice of pizza that literally I walked 2 blocks from this place and they're selling it for $2. It's just ridiculous shit. So, I've never been in a position where it's like, yeah, you know what? Let's try a fucking hot dog from this stadium, because they now say they're sourcing locally and, they're doing good products and stuff. So I've never been in that position to, I guess, benefit from that, because it sounds like you have. And it's unfortunate because I guess things are different here in Canada. But it's terrible here. It's an insult. The prices here, it's worse than fucking amusement parks. We already know amusement parks overcharge for everything. Well, it's 100 times worse at a sporting event. The food, the booze, even pop and stuff. You go to a machine, one of these vending machines, and a pop that you can buy for $1, it's going for like $3.75. It's robbery. It's fucking robbery. Jada says same day DDR. I don't feel right without veggies. Yep. So. Oh, there's Bam. Shout out to Bam in the chat. He says, I always bought a hot dog outside of Skydome, so much cheaper and better. Yep. I mean, they're literally right outside of the vending place. To be honest, sometimes they're actually larger than the ones you get inside. You can, you go nuts on the fucking toppings and shit, and you might be able to, like, get a deal out of the guy. You'd be like, come on, like, give me the pop for 75 cents instead. Like, I already bought this, and... or something. You can't do that in the, in the stadium already. And yes, Beast Incarnate, the movies and stadiums all have terrible pricing because they all do the same thing. They go on convenience and prey on desperation. So, yeah, when it comes to sporting events, yeah, they're great to enjoy, but the event, as in the sporting, is great to enjoy. But having to be exposed to this, and to me, it always annoyed me so much when I went to the game, because again, an effort would have to be made to actually eat or even try to sneak shit in, so that, because you don't want to, like, you want to be able to eat through the fucking game. You don't want to have to fucking gorge yourself before, or like be famished as soon as the game ends. Like, I remember some baseball games are fucking long and shit. And, it's just like, I already be forced to deal with fucking, a $15 small beer and stuff. And I just want a snack. I don't want fucking to have to, like, sell my soul to the devil just to fucking feast. Yeah, Bam, nothing like charging $16 for a beer at a concert. But back to the comment, to the topic at hand. I don't want to get into the crimes that are currently committed, since I'm already passionate enough about food. And just a reminder, if you want to call in and share your opinion on the topic, feel free to do so. You can contact me on Skype at Devious Dave Rose. Hence, the show is called Too Many Chefs. The whole purpose is to get more people to call in so that we're talking over each other. That's the whole gimmick. It has yet to actually take off. Maybe I should just call this Many Chefs, or just Chef. But I would not feel appropriate to call myself chef because I'm not a chef. But let's continue. I'm a cook, but it's Gabe who's got that designation in the chat. He's an actual chef. And he's worked in the industry, which I have not. So... continuing, we were discussing, obviously, not just vegetables, which are very easily done. I mean, you can get yourself a zucchini, cut it into a bunch of slices like you see here. You can get, all different types of sweet peppers, and you can throw them in, which, their cooking will also start to... release their flavor, and it'll start to mix with everything else as well. And things like this appears to be chicken breasts. These look like chicken thighs here, and those are really easily made as well. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of chicken thighs. They're a little too fatty for me, taste wise. But who knew I wasn't a fan of the dark meat? But no, but seriously though, they're very easily made. I mean, I would have to say maybe 10 minutes in total, 12 minutes. Oh, here we go, people. Here we go. The moment that we have all been waiting for, something that I've truly been looking forward to. We actually have an actual chef on the show called Too Many Chefs. The one, the only, Gabe Rodriguez.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hey, how are you, Dave?
Doing good. How are you?
Good, brother. Good, man. I didn't. I wasn't working today, so I finally got a day off.
The
So,
stars have finally aligned for us.
how are you doing, man? How's everybody going?
I'm
Or
looking forward to a
doing?
long weekend
Cool, cool.
and looking forward to doing some barbecuing.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, man. I'm in San Antonio, Texas, right here.
Oh, so
It's
you're in
freaking hot
Texas?
outside.
Okay. The
Yeah,
land of
yeah.
propane. So, did my words, is there a bounty now on me if I was to walk
No,
to Texas, or are we cool?
no, no. Actually, yeah, yeah. We're good, man. No, we're good.
Well,
No, everything's good so far. So this is actually my first time doing the Skype right now. I
you're
mean,
coming in
in
great,
business,
man. Is this your phone or your
uh,
computer?
it's my phone.
Wow, you guys have some good connections down there in Texas, man. This sounds like
Uh,
you're on a fucking, high end mic.
well, yeah, it is an iPhone, so yeah. so, so, what do you want to talk about?
Well, actually, what I'd love to talk about is I'm more than willing to, put the current topic on hold and actually talk to you about what you do because you've talked a lot about cooking and stuff. You've mentioned to me, either recipes or, just your entertainment of what I do and stuff. And again, I'm not a chef. I've never worked in the industry, but there's a passion that just comes out of me that I don't know where it comes from, but it's something I actually personally think is just built into all of us. I think it's just who we
Well,
are.
how come you never became a chef, like in the first place? Like, did you ever decide to do it,
Because I
or
was better at
like
computers,
get film?
basically.
Oh, yeah, I'm not that good. A lot of chefs are not that good at computers. Like, we're good hands on. So, I've been in the field for like 23 years. I started as a dishwasher, worked my way up. A lot of chefs actually started in dishwashing. We worked our ways up, but I went to school. I went to Le Cordon Bleu in Austin. Got my degree
Really?
and all that good
That
stuff.
okay?
Yeah,
Don't
so
don't
it's
don't 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 just like wash over that. Please let the audience know what that place is, man.
so Le Cordon Bleu is like a famous. Well, I went to school in Austin, Texas. Probably when I was like 18, 19 years old. But yeah, it's a cooking school. So it's it gets you into the lifestyle of being a chef. So I
And
mean, I
it's
went many
recognized. That's
years.
the point I'm trying to make. Is this ain't no little
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
side college school, okay, guys? Like that's the point I'm trying to make. Is like this is big wig stuff now. Okay?
yeah. So
We're playing with the big boys.
so yeah, it's it's a recognized school. Actually, they went out of business because a lot of actually there's only one, and right now and that's in Paris, France. But they went out of business because they were advertising once you become get out of culinary school, then you become a chef, and that's not the way it works. You're basically a certified cook once you get out of cooking school.
Yep.
So yeah, you get your CC. It's your certified culinarian degree. So that's what happens there, and yeah, so it's really awesome. But yeah, but I've been in business for a long time. Just doing what I'm doing. It's awesome.
And
So I
and
don't know I don't know anything else I would do.
and right
Like
now
this is all
you're
I
a
do.
sous chef?
Right now I'm a food and beverage director. I
Oh.
was actually, yeah. So I was working at restaurants, went to hotels, went to retirement homes like resorts. And then I got out of the restaurant scene. I was working like 16, 17 hours a day.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so now I've been doing this for like 2 months now. I've been at this place in Cibolo and Cibolo, Texas, and so I became the food and beverage director. So I'm not like really cooking
What does that
right
entail
now.
though? Are you just ordering their drinks, keeping up with what's popular? Like how does that work?
The retirement resort or the food
No,
and
the
beverage
food and
director.
beverage director. Like what are you doing? What's your daily
So
job?
I'm running. So basically, I'm running the kitchen right now. I'm overseeing the kitchen staffing. Right now, we're trying to we have a hard time looking for staff
I
because of
bet
COVID.
everyone is.
Yeah. So I mean, dude, I'm like washing dishes. I'm in there like doing what I got to do.
Yep.
I mean, I'm still in my chef coat. I'm doing like events, like marketing, trying to market like a place to get it more known. And so like I'm ordering, doing the schedules, everything, like cooking,
Being a
like
boss.
I'm doing everything. yeah, being the boss, making sure that like everything's up to par. And if not, I'll yell and scream and do what I got to do to
That
get my point
industry is
across.
so volatile that you've got to have metal
Yeah,
to be to be able to
yeah,
stick with it as
yeah,
long as specifically you have, and like to deal with the
yes,
daily
definitely.
occurrences. Because I've looked into this and stuff, and like thinking back on what you said, I don't. Another reason why maybe I never got into this is because at least initially as a kid, I was served food in such a shit form manner that I just like I guess all food is shit. And it's just like I guess if I make it, it's also gonna be shit. So, but then I started to
Yeah,
do my own thing. I was like, holy, how is this possible? Why is it that I've always hated pasta, but now I try it, from this person, and this is literally one of the greatest things I've ever tried. Like pasta to me was
yeah,
just was one of those things I dreaded as a kid, just like rice, because it was just so overdone. My parents
yeah.
just don't know how to make that. I don't know how, but sorry,
Well,
that's just, I had to rant
rice is
that.
very. I
I'm
mean, it's
using you
not
as my
easy to make.
therapist.
It's okay. Actually, rice is not easy to make. I mean, I'm Hispanic. My roots are Hispanic. And I'm Mexican,
Eh,
basically Hispanic. And rice is like grown into us when you're little.
Yeah,
You
but
know
the
what I mean? How to
Asians
cook
laugh
it.
at us when we say that. They're like, "You have to measure the water." No, we use the finger method. You're so
No,
stupid. No, I've
hey,
I've seen this. It's just like,
I'll use
no.
a finger method. I'll use a finger method on a woman. You know what I
Well,
mean?
at least our dicks are bigger. How about that?
But yeah, but it's just great. I mean, you don't touch the rice. You know what I mean? You do your water, you do all that. You just don't touch the rice, and then it'll come out fluffy. But there's certain techniques that you got to do
Yep.
to make it fluffy.
And
So there is things, but I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
no, I was just gonna say, and that's just fucking white rice. I mean, wild
Yeah, that's
rice.
just white rice.
Oh my god, that is a chat. That's like fucking asking Hercules to complete his 12 tasks. It's just like I've never been able to fucking master that shit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you know. So I mean, we can go back to being the food and beverage director thing. So like basically, I mean, it's a good gig. Like what I'm doing. It's still hard work. You're busting your ass in a hot ass kitchen, and you want all this food to come out, and you just got to be on top of everything. If
Did you hear
not, the
me?
kitchen's gonna fall.
Did you hear me give praise to all those that are currently right now serving everyone that's going out to eat
Yeah,
because it's too hot? Because I feel for them.
yeah,
I've never been in
exactly.
that position, but trust me, I have so much fucking um, uh, what's it called? Good feelings, I guess, for people in the
Yeah,
service industry, in whatever industry, really. It could be retail, could be, cooking in the kitchen, because like these people are serving us and they're in conditions that we're not. And you might forget that
yeah,
because you're
and
you're spending the day off so that you can be air conditioned eating in a restaurant, but it sure as fuck doesn't feel air conditioned back there in the kitchen.
yeah, definitely. And in the industry, you don't make shit. For money.
Yep.
I mean, you don't make. You're making what, like in Texas, like it's about. I would say the minimum is about $9 to ten
Tipping
dollars
culture is a
an
fucking
hour.
bane. Tipping culture is what has
Yeah,
created, living poverty and stuff. And in Europe, it's illegal. In a lot
yeah.
of places in Europe, it's illegal. It's like,
You know,
nope, you're going to be charged what's appropriate so that these people can actually maintain a livable wage. You don't like it? Go fucking
you
eat
know what you.
McDonald's. A machine will fucking greet you.
Yeah, exactly. And do you know how much they charge? Like, do you know how much it is in San Antonio for a server? It's like 215 an hour
That's disgusting. That's
in Texas.
disgusting.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't
Well, I
live
mean,
with
they live
myself.
off
I
their
could
tips,
not live
but
with
not a lot of
myself
people.
being a restaurateur and pay my staff so little. I just could not live with. I could not do it. That's
Yeah,
fucking. That's
and
that's
it's
slavery. That's slavery.
yeah, yeah. It's terrible.
Don't people in jail get paid
And I
better than
know
that shit?
definitely they do. And I mean, they got three hots in the cot. They got three
Yep.
meals and everything. So
Room and
they're
board
probably living
paid.
better in jail. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean that's what it is so far. So it's been good so far. I've been here for like a couple of months, and I like it, and the money is good. Everything's good so far. So I mean that's what it is, but I mean I was like a culinary director, executive chef, stuff like that. I was sous chef a long time ago, line cook. Worked my way up. Still went to school, worked my way up. But now, I mean, I developed a thick skin. Like, I don't give two shits about anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I
Do you,
developed a thick skin,
so
and it's
do,
just
do you go up to those that fail, put some bread around their face, and say, "What are you? You're an idiot sandwich."
yeah, yeah, man. Just like Ramsey, man. Ramsey's awesome, man. You know,
Fucking that man
I
is
really heard
incredible.
I heard he's a really good guy.
Yeah,
Chef Ramsey.
again. The whole thing that he does is for the show. You know, he does that
Yeah,
extra
no,
over the top, but it's
no.
enjoyable. But like, yeah, normally and person to person, apparently he's just totally nice and really relaxed and all that. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but you turn it on. I mean, he can definitely turn it back on. I mean, right now it's turned off, but you can turn it. You know, you have that switch. You have that asshole switch that you need to do to get these guys in shape. I mean, it's real
well,
militant. Like
he fought
cooking
in the
is
trenches
militant.
there, so he knows what he needs to
Yeah,
do to turn on to get these people to respond. It's like, look, we're not having fun here. We're running a fucking restaurant, and either shape up or shut the fuck up.
yeah. So I mean, man, but I really enjoy your shows, Dave. Man,
Thank
you're
you.
awesome.
Really appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I've been listening to y'all for a long time, and it's awesome, brother. So I mean, keep doing what you're doing. Do you have any other questions for me, bro, or anything like that?
Yeah. Let's see here. Um, I don't know. I mean, like this is now like having the opportunity to speak to someone who's worked in the industry, and there's a lot of stuff that I could ask you. Um,
Oh yeah, ask away, brother. Ask away. Like I'm an open book, man. Ask me whatever you want. So I'm good.
uh,
I finally get to talk and
okay, so
everything. So
you said you're Hispanic, and obviously you know that I'm from Argentina and stuff, but obviously the cuisine's quite different. So, are you
yeah,
versed well in Mexican
yes, I'm
cuisine?
versed. Yeah, so with me, I'm versed. So I studied at a French school. Le Cordon Bleu is French. It was a French
Yep.
school, and so I studied there. But yeah, I know all cuisines. You have to you got to take a chef test. So there's a lot of stuff involved in being a chef. You just don't like put a coat on and you think you're like a chef. It doesn't work that way. You know, you work your way up. You learn all types of cuisine. I know Asian, Moroccan, Thai. There's all
Nice.
these things you got to learn. Yeah, so I mean, because I worked in the hotels, the country clubs, all that stuff. So you learn all that stuff in there
Moroccan. That
because
actually sounds really good. I've tried Moroccan food, Tunisian
oh, it's
food.
awesome.
That northern African region has some very very good food, and the
Yeah,
preparation's unique, and it's flavorful, but it's so different. I mean, like
yeah,
the
definitely.
I can't remember what it's called. It's like a North Americanized version of it, but it's just so
Uh
good.
huh.
It's a Tunisian sub, I believe.
Yes.
Oh, it's incredible. It's just I could not
Yeah,
believe when I
definitely.
tried that.
Yeah, so I mean, it's food, man. Food's awesome in general. I mean, have you heard of molecular gastronomy?
Yes, have you like is that's a you can take courses in that shit, get degrees in that.
Yeah, well, back in the day, I mean, so back in the day when I was up in Le Cordon Bleu, I had a guy. I don't know if you ever heard of Andrea Ferraro, and so he was like this awesome chef, and he was I think from I forgot what place he was from. Anyway,
Africa?
he is like
No, was he from
he
Africa?
does molect. No, he wasn't.
Okay, because
I
there's
forgot his
one guy
name.
I heard of from Africa who went to that course and he became like a Michelin star, chef.
Yeah. So, oh man, the Michelin stars. Shit. I mean, I'm there. I'm nowhere near that. I mean, I could have if I wanted to. I could have probably done that. But you do what you got to do. I went a different route.
Yeah, but it's
In the
like winning the
culinary scene.
lottery. You don't like it's next to impossible to become that. You've got to be a
No,
stellar
yeah,
person and really shine and it's like you just don't become a Michelin star. It happens.
yeah, exactly. And but I'm like an Americanized chef. Regardless if I'm Hispanic or anything, I know all types of cuisine, and it's awesome, dude. Like it's just awesome. Learning all this stuff, and it's like a doctor. I think of it cooking as a
Yes.
doctor. It's years. I mean, without the pay of a doctor, but it takes about 10, 11 years just to even get started, like learning cuisines
Even
and
the
everything.
process is the
It's
same, is that there's like different preparations, so you're prepping the patient basically, whether it be with fucking marinades or other forms, and then there's the operation with the cooking, and then
Yeah,
afterwards with the the garnishments and stuff like field
yeah,
dressings. So yeah, there's a yeah. I have to agree with you, and I see it. See your example. Nikki
yeah. And then
Nines in the chat. Sorry,
also you can.
go ahead.
Oh, hey, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Also,
I said also you can kill somebody. I mean, you know what I mean. So
yes.
yeah, if you can poison them bad and really hurt somebody, if you're not, if you know what you're doing. If you're a chef, you know what you're doing as far as like if you're really making like a crab or you're making something, you pull a vein or something happens, you can kill somebody. Big time. Chicken, I mean, cook it raw. I mean, if you really want to get back at somebody, that you don't like, you can hurt them really bad
Yeah.
and put them in the hospital for a long time. So,
So Nikki Nines wants to ask, what is your favorite meal to prepare?
oh man, what's up, Nikki? My favorite meal would probably be I like grilled sea bass. So I like fish. I'm a fish eater. I love fish. It would probably be like a surf and turf, like a grilled sea bass with some
Nice.
shrimp. Yeah, some fresh coconut shrimp, like a lime dipping sauce.
Yes.
Yeah, so
I love
I
coconut
think of
shrimp,
that.
dude. That's a fucking
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's amazing, man. I would probably on the meat I'll do a filet mignon, like medium rare. I like all my steak and my meat medium rare.
yes.
I don't know why people do it well done and they eat it like that. Because the thing is that I mean, if you're eating a piece, it's like eating a piece of shoe leather. Why are you going to pay like $45 to $50 and at a
That's why I
restaurant
hated
getting?
steak until I got a lot older. Do you know how
Yeah,
many things
exactly.
that I had in life that it just like, oh, this is shit. And then when I finally tasted it as it was supposed to be, I'm like, I've been lied to my entire life. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, like the overcooking of meat to me is criminal. Like it
Yeah.
requires like that person to be sent to a re-education camp specifically on how to cook meat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's horrible. Why would you do that? And then you pay all this money just for a piece of crap. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's not good at all.
But hey,
So,
the customer's always right, apparently.
no, not really.
No,
No, just
I totally agree with
yeah,
you. The customer's never right because if they were, they would have done it themselves, right?
yeah,
Oh,
exactly. Yeah. So I
if you can
mean,
make a good
that's
steak, make it yourself. Oh, you can't? Well, that's why you're here. Shut the fuck up and eat it medium rare.
exactly, bro. Yeah. So I mean that's what it is in a nutshell, man. But I mean, I love cooking. The managing part, I hate. I just not hate. I just don't like because so since I'm the food and beverage director, now it's not just back of the house. Now I got to manage the front of the house and the back of the house, do all the paperwork, get all that crap done, and and which is all right.
That's
But
where
I
I
like
shine.
doing
That's where I shine. I
oh the
can
paperwork.
management to me is fucking no problem. Paperwork, I fucking go right through it. But that's
I think it's just the thing of a chef. Like chefs aren't. I mean, we go
yeah,
to
it's
school,
not their
yes,
job to
for
do that. Their job is the fucking quality of the food, but they need to be relying on somebody that can run that front end so they can just like communicate and get that shit done. Like you're
yeah,
obviously spreading
exactly.
yourself quite thin, and it's only because of the current situation, but it really
Yeah,
shouldn't be that way in the first place. It's only because of that, due to the fucking Biden economy.
yeah, exactly. And I hate that fucker anyway. So I mean, it's
We all
whatever,
do.
dude.
We all
Um,
do.
yeah. When it comes down to it, he sucks ass, and then so does Camille Harris. But that's a different story, man.
So, do you
So
make? Okay, for example, here's a question I have for you. Do you make
yeah.
your own sausage, for example? Do you?
Oh yeah, man. I love doing like summer sausage, and I like carrying the sausages and doing all that stuff. Yeah, we used to do that. And back in the day, when I worked in restaurants, we used to do it all the time. And it was a mom and pop restaurant that I used to work at, and up in San Antonio. Back in the day, it's closed down. But yeah, man, we did a bunch of sausages. We cured a lot of stuff, and that's the way to go, man. I mean, even we did pickles. We did fresh pickles. You know what I mean? You put in vinegar and you do all that stuff. That's just a process. It's awesome doing all this stuff. You get the cucumbers. It's awesome, dude. So yeah, I've done all that.
And do you at home? Do you have like a smoker? Do you, like what kind of
Yeah.
gear do you
So
have at home?
I have sous vides. So basically I got a sous vide at home. I like to sous vide a lot of stuff at home. And I
Now I
have
know
like
that I know
different
what sous
equipment.
vide is. Explain to the audience better the device you're talking about. I'm guessing I'm not familiar with, so don't not just tell the audience about sous vide style cooking, which they
Uh-huh.
really need to know about because that's above my pay grade and something I'd love to talk about. But
Yeah.
just talk about the device because I'm always down with trying to figure out what are the latest toys out there that I might be able to get. So go ahead.
So a good device would be like there's a device called Nova. It's probably about, I would say, if you go on Bed Bath and Beyond or
But tell them
something.
what sous vide is and what it does.
So sous vide cooking's a style of cooking, but you're slow. You're basically slow. You're grilling it, or but you're not grilling it. So I mean, it's a slow device of cooking and a water method. So you're basically cryovacuuming. Say if you put a piece of salmon and you're cryovacuuming in a machine, there's different ways because there's different devices. So basically, you're getting the water boiled, and you're boiling it up to a point, and you're basically like you're marinating, depending on what you're doing. But it's a slow method of cooking this meat or whatever you're putting in, and you're cooking it up to like medium rare. But it's going to be like in a water bath. So you bring it up to temperature, and it's cooking slow. And once you cook it, you can actually grill it and cook it. And that's the method. That's the way it's supposed to be. So basically, you're taking a piece of protein and you're cooking it down to be tender. So, and it's totally different than grilling because you're basically taking all that heat and out of the cooking actually, and putting it in a pouch of water, and you're submerging it in water, and that's what you're doing. So when you take a bite of it, you take it out, it's like you're eating a piece of heaven, like like the meat. So it comes out very tender. It's awesome. I don't know if you ever done it, Dave.
I've never done sous vide. I've never had a machine to let me do it. And I've
Uh
never
huh.
tried to sort of jury because you can try to do that. Like you get your own fucking little Ziploc bag and you try to suck out as much air as I don't have a fucking vac seal device, so
Yeah.
like that's the thing though. I've never because I saw how intricate it was. I wasn't gonna fuck up a good piece of meat,
Yeah.
so I said, you know what?
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna try.
You can actually do it in a Ziploc bag. The
Well,
only
that's
thing about that
yeah,
is, yeah, the water. That's the only thing. You got to get like the more expensive Ziplocs,
yeah, because if
not
not,
just
they'll fucking melt.
yeah, they'll melt. So there's a yeah, and it's pretty expensive doing it, but it does come out in the long run. Like you can buy one for a good like $80 to like $320. I mean, you can get the little handheld. I mean, there's the machines. Like I have a machine at work. That's about $6,000. That machine is about 6 grand, and it's basically the size of a box, like a regular box.
I put one
That
on the
thing
screen right
is
now.
awesome.
It's $305.
Yeah, exactly. That's how much they run. But I mean, they run to all the like. I'm talking about. I'm actually talking about the big industrial ones too. Those are like the pro chefs. Like the chef line series. Those are they're really expensive. They run like 300 all the way up. You can get one like cheap for like $100, like 80 to 100. But I mean, it's well worth it. And but not only that, the seal machine, that vac is probably like another 80 to $100 for just for the vac. I mean, you got to think about the bags and all that, but it's a very good
So
product to
what's the
use. Like,
result? So okay, so you've got steak. You said you had, I believe, some sort of fish.
yeah,
Like I guess vegetables as well. You can do.
you can do
Um,
vegetables. You can do onions if you're a big onion fan.
what
You can
result
do
do we
onions.
get? What do you get from the
So
flavor?
so basically your flavor profile is going to be okay. So if you ever ate at a top notch steak place, it's going to taste exactly the same, but it's going to taste more like it's been marinated for like a week or to like a week and a half. It's going to be that soft.
So it
Like say if you
infuses the
marinated
flavor to a
it,
higher
yeah,
extent,
yeah,
and
definitely,
that's
yes.
because of the cooking process.
Yeah, it's because of the cooking process and the way it's marinated, and the
Hmm.
way the process is with sous vide. I mean, you can put it in a regular grill. Obviously, if you're gonna grill, you're gonna get like it's gonna be hard depending on the meat and the preparation of it. If you marinate something for a good week, you're gonna get a good product. You know what I mean?
Is this a
Because
more
it's like
evenly like? Does this cook more evenly than say other methods?
yeah, it does. It actually cooks evenly because the
Okay.
water is bouncing. Yeah, the water is actually bouncing, and the meat's actually bouncing in there. So it's like bathing in it.
Wow.
Yeah, it is awesome, dude. Like when I first tried it, I didn't believe it But when I first tried sous vide, I was like, nah, no, this is not gonna work. I mean, because I was an old school chef.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 38. I'm sorry, I'm 39 right now. But I mean, I've been doing all that stuff since I was young.
French
And it's
cuisine?
like,
What do these fucking frogs know about fucking food?
yeah, exactly. And
Meanwhile,
yeah, so I mean, now all the chefs are using like sous vide. That's like the new thing, and then molecular
is it
gastronomy is new.
faster? Like, again, if like, okay, so you're running the kitchen and stuff, are you going to just direct your staff to use this method rather than others because it would be quicker turnaround so that you can serve your customers?
Yeah, exactly. So with
Really?
that, like, yeah. So when you're studying
Oh.
that, yeah. So when you're studying it, you still have to direct them how to do it because they're not going to know how to do it yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Especially
I'm
these
thinking that
days.
I'm thinking front end here, buddy. As I told you, that's the
Oh,
good stuff I'm thinking about. I'm good at. So it's just like I'm thinking, how can we get more product out to the fucking customers? Is this going to be more effective than fucking just grilling in the fucking kitchen, which adds more smoke, which requires more fucking expenditure for cleaning of the vents? Like, dude, I'm thinking,
yeah,
dude. I'm thinking.
yeah, man. I mean, dude, I wish I had you in my kitchen. So
Well, the way
I would
Canada's
love for
going,
you
I
to come
think
to
I'm
my
gonna
kitchen.
have to fucking immigrate to Texas as a fucking refugee.
I don't know if you want to see a wire though.
Well, the state's, just slightly smaller than Ontario, which is the largest in all of Canada and North America. So I'm sure that I
Yeah.
don't have to fucking deal with him every day, and I won't see him. So, but yeah,
Well,
Texas is
yeah. I
one of
mean,
those places I've considered moving to. Texas and
what? I
Florida.
mean, Austin's awesome too. Austin, I would go back to Austin.
I heard it's
Austin's
really
great.
liberal.
I know. Yeah, man. I was there for 2 years, and it was awesome, dude. Like, it was a good. Austin's awesome.
Uh,
Like, I would move
I don't
probably
know.
to
I'm not
Austin.
a fan of liberals though. I want to go to a nice redneck town where everyone has a fucking hand cannon on their fucking on their
Well,
waist.
go to
Everyone's
North
fucking
Texas.
polite, and like nobody starts problems.
Yeah, then go to North Texas. That's where they're at.
Okay,
I steer clear
where are
from that.
you?
No, I'm just kidding.
Are you on the coast or something?
No, I'm in. Well, I'm in South Texas.
Okay.
So I'm in San Antonio South. North Texas is like all the way up there. So there's probably rednecks up in East Texas and North Texas probably. So probably East is that's where they are. But I stay clear away from all that. Like, yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Well,
I'm not
you're
going.
you're a shade too brown.
Yeah, well, shit. I'm like 3 shades brown, bro. So if you
No,
see
I'm
my
legal,
picture,
dude.
yeah.
Please, I'm legal. Please.
Yeah, I'm a chef too.
I'm a
I'll cook
chef.
for you.
Let me make you American cuisine. I made you the best hamburger. You won't even
Yeah,
tell.
man, this is awesome. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So yeah,
I'm
that's
fascinated.
what's
Honestly, I'm
going.
fascinated with the stuff you're telling me and that you're, like providing me. Like again, like I'm going on just like thinking like, oh, so he's looking into training his people for sous vide. So I'm thinking, well, maybe that's the business reason why, and you can get more product down and stuff. So like, I'm loving this. So keep going, man. Like, tell us more.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a little bit about my background, But I love you got to do sous vide. I mean,
And
audience out there,
the
do sous
chemical
vide.
gastronomy, is that what it's called? Chemical gastronomy or
Yeah, molecular gastronomy.
molecular?
That's like
Molecular.
yeah, that's like
Have you
astronaut
taken
stuff.
courses in that though, or have you just
Yeah,
studied
so
it?
yeah,
Just like
I studied it in class. I took 2 courses in it, and then I was working at a restaurant that did that. It was actually a hotel, that was doing it, and I was like, "What?"
were you
And you
dealing
have
with
this,
dry ice and shit?
yeah, dry ice.
I knew it.
Dry ice. You have liquid nitrogen, so you have all these like science. Cooking's all a science, right? So I mean, you're literally doing like liquid nitrogen. And these things are like astronaut food. I don't know if you ever heard of the astronaut food, like what they have up there, but
Yep. Oh,
now they
absolutely, dude.
actually have, yeah, now they actually have cuisine, and a lot of like this famous chef called, that's his name, Fernan Andria, and he was at a restaurant called El Bulli in Barcelona, and so look him up. His name is Fernan Andria, and he's the father of that gastronomy
Hmm.
and molecular gastronomy. Now he's doing astronaut food. He opened like a restaurant. It was like a 3 Michelin star restaurant, and over there up in Barcelona, and it's well known. Like, it was called El Bulli, and he's done all this stuff. Like I'm talking about, like it looks like. So say you're making like food, like frozen food, and it looks like a banana, a shape of a banana, and it's frozen, right? But you crack this, frozen stuff with liquid nitrogen, and it tastes like meat. It's like steak, but like a banana. It is crazy.
I think I've seen stuff like that where it's like disguised food,
Yeah.
where it looks like
Yes, like a
something and
strawberry.
it's totally different.
Yeah, so like there's one on like YouTube. You go on YouTube, just look it all up and put like look up molecular gastronomy, and then there's like all these types of stuff. Like it's like a strawberry, and I don't know if you heard of like Dippin' Dots, but there's
Yes.
a place called Dippin' Dots. Yeah, so it's like that. It's like frozen stuff like that, and it tastes different. It tastes awesome. It's something totally different. So that's what he's doing now, and it's been like that for a good 7 years, 8 years already.
I remember
Um,
hearing that they were upgrading the menu for the astronauts and stuff. So they started to get all these big names and stuff to sort of utilize this science to create a menu that was a little more flavorful and a little more natural. And yeah, I
yeah.
remember that.
So yeah, so molecular gastronomy is awesome, and that's where it's going towards. Now they're doing it in like NASA. Like now he's working with NASA to do that. And this guy used to be 3 Michelin star chef up in Barcelona, and then now he's on the NASA program now. So he's doing all that, and yeah, he's on NASA. He's working with NASA to create menus and stuff like that for the astronauts. So he's doing all that type of stuff. So I mean, that is very awesome that he's doing that, and obviously he's making a killing doing it. So that's that's awesome.
So let's see here. You were talking about sous vide, and and you say that you've done this on your own, like you've got your own device at home, or you just only.
Yeah. So yeah, I have a sous vide here, and then I have one at work. So back in the day, I would utilize sous vide, the methods, and you can put wine in it, all the marinations you want in it. You can put wine, teriyaki sauce, you can put all types of stuff in there in those cryovacs, those sealers. So I mean, it's great. Like what you're trying to do. If you're trying to accomplish getting soft food, and it's not like taking forever, like or say if you're gonna roast something, and you know how long it takes like roasting something, or like a pot roast. Well, that cuts the time by like an hour to 2 hours.
Wow.
Say versus like say roasting's 10 hours. We know what I mean, slow and low, low and slow. Well, you're doing about 2 hours instead of 10 hours.
Oh, that's amazing. Like prime rib?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh.
prime rib. Yes, yeah, you can do prime rib in there, and prime rib, it takes a while to do, right?
Oh my
I
God.
mean,
Yeah. And
yeah,
it must save a lot of also on electricity because you're not using
yeah, it does. Yes, it does. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there, that you can utilize. I mean, yeah, so I got a good amount of stuff in my kitchen right now, that I use. Like, there's this grill that I have, and it's an awesome grill as well. And it's like an electric grill, that's indoors too. So it's like an electric grill indoors. So you can grill indoors. It's called a Power XL. And I got this for Christmas, and it's nice too as well. So
definitely not a
it's a
George
nice.
Foreman grill.
No, no, no. It's very upgraded George Foreman grill, and then it has a drip, like a drip drain on the bottom too. So I mean, I get excited for food all the time, and
I
it's
do
something
too,
that I
man.
love to do.
And I'm not even a
Yeah,
chef, but like, yeah, just talk again. Like to me, it's like an art form, and
yeah,
it's to me, it's more of an art form than it is a science. Although there is science in there, and personally, I don't like it when bakers tell me, "Oh, well, like baking is a science and stuff." Yeah, you know what? It does require accurate sort of
yeah.
measurements sometimes. But
Oh my God,
sometimes
bakers are
the
crazy.
force just leads you, and you create
Yeah,
things that just you don't know how you did it, and you didn't follow a
yeah,
recipe.
yeah. Well, bakers are crazy in a nutshell. Like I don't know if you ever
Yeah.
met a couple of bakers. Okay, so I used to work with a pastry chef. This guy is
Oh,
awesome,
even
dude. He does.
worse.
Yeah, he does like baguettes. He does all these things from scratch. But he's such a perfectionist,
That's what I was
and
just
which is
about to
great.
say. Oh, I know the type then. Clearly, we've met the same types of people.
Yeah. So I mean, he's such a perfectionist, and which is great and all, but But this guy, like, you can't, like, you
Great
want
for
to
the
put him,
customer, not so much the coworkers.
yeah, you basically want to put him in the freaking basement and just lock him in there and not away from the customers
Bake.
because this guy, yeah, just bake your shit and that's it because he's just like crazy. He was out there, but man, he made the best shit ever, and he was
Oh my
actually
god.
71. He was
How
71
what?
years old. He was
71.
71. 71. He's been doing bake. He had his own bakery at like 24.
Well, clearly he was doing
20.
something right because if he's lived that long and he's still as crazy, it means that
Yeah.
the power still flows through him.
Yeah, he didn't want
Like,
to retire. Like he like just loved it so much he didn't want to retire. This guy already had like two houses. He had his mortgages paid off. He had cars and everything, dude.
yeah, but that's
It,
yeah, this guy has nothing to prove anymore. This guy's literally putting out like good quality stuff like because he can. So like,
yeah,
yeah, people got to
exactly.
recognize that.
Yeah, and so yeah, and he was awesome, dude, and he was a great guy, and I still talk to him this day, and he's like, Chef, when are you gonna come back? When are you gonna get back to the kitchen? This other chef's an asshole, and I'm like, dude, most chefs are assholes. So that's just we're arrogant and we're kind of pricks, but
Yeah.
that's just the way it is.
Well,
I'm
you
not
earned it.
so much. Yeah, thanks. I used to be, but I'm not like that no more. Back in my 20s, man, when I was running my kitchens, I mean, dude, yeah, I was an asshole. I was a prick. But, I mean, you just learn to soften up a little bit. And, yeah, the kitchen makes you crazy and nuts and all this shit. But, I mean, it's just passion, brother.
So Nikki,
It's passion.
Nikki Nine says, ask a food he recommends every time. I guess everyone try at least once that no one would suspect is amazing.
Oh, man. That's a hard one. I
It
like
is.
everything.
I mean,
Yeah,
like,
I
here's the
don't
thing.
know, man.
Off the top of my head, I think fried yuca is amazing. Most people have never tried that, but fried yuca I think
Oh,
is
yeah,
great.
I heard about that. Yeah, it's
Um,
great. Yeah.
fried plantains. Obviously, everything fried
Oh,
is good.
yeah,
So,
man. Have you ever ate Puerto Rican food?
I believe I
Oh my
have.
god. Yeah, man. So so like I've worked at a Puerto Rican restaurant back in the day, and we used to make habichuelas, arroz con gandule,
That sounds
man, all this
familiar.
stuff, dude. Yeah. So it's like rice and then the chicken like together, man. And they have a totally different cuisine. And those guys, man, those Puerto Ricans can cook, brother. Like nobody's business. I think it's like ingrained in them. Like, Mexicans do, like just like that. Or El Salvadorians.
No, but
Dude,
that's the
they
thing,
just
though.
cook.
From the Rio Grande all the way down to Tierra del Fuego. I mean, you got Hispanic food, but such a variety and an array that it's all good, and it's always using very simple sort of ingredients. Could be pupusas, could be fucking arroz con pollo, could be empanadas. Um, it's oxtail, fucking. It's just
That's one of them. What Nikki Nice is saying, oxtail. Not everybody's had oxtail, and oxtail's awesome, dude.
it is. It's
Oh man,
so good.
yeah.
I was blown
People
away
won't
when I
eat it
first tried it.
because people won't eat it because it's like an ox,
Ooh, and
and
a
it's like
tail.
okay, yeah, and the tail, and man, I'm telling you, that oxtail is
It
awesome,
it
dude.
falls apart in
Oh
your mouth.
man,
It's so tender. It's like brisket, and it's
yeah,
flavorful because of the
definitely.
gravy. Again, oxtail is common with Caribbean
Uh huh.
cuisine, so you've got their
Yeah.
blend of
Have you had
spices
lengua?
that I've never had before. But I'm
Yeah. Have
actually
you had
really
lengua?
no, I've never had it before. But I've been like my parents have told me that it's amazing. And again, it's a common
Yeah.
thing in Argentina because obviously
Yes.
cow is abundant. But like I hear it's very
Yes.
similar to oxtail in the sense that it's very tender and it's very flavorful. So hey, that's the thing. I'll try things at least twice to make sure I like them or not.
Yeah.
That's how I always do it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, and that's the way to go. It's always good to try things once and just like all the audience out there, don't discriminate as far as not trying anything, man. You want to like look at all the menus anywhere you go to, just try any little thing. Like
Actually,
don't be,
especially
I
when
know,
it's a culture that's not yours. If you see a culture, it's just
yeah,
like ask a little bit. Like, okay, so there, what do you have here? Like, it says this and it's this. Like, can you explain more how it's made, what it's about, and stuff? The people that run these restaurants are more than willing to fucking explain to you and this stuff and to share, some staples that are literally part of their culture and stuff. Like empanadas or
definitely.
alfajores for me,
Oh
like I will
man,
be a fucking
empanada.
drug dealer with that shit to fucking push that shit out onto people, okay? I love both. Who doesn't love an empanada? And they're so varied. And then alfajores. I mean, like, to me, it's just childhood. That stuff is just fucking comfort
Yeah.
food.
Have you ever had barbacoa
Yes.
or barbacoa? Yeah, man. Oh, dude, barbacoa is awesome. I'll get that like mostly sometimes. So in San Antonio, Texas, I don't know anywhere else. It's usually barbacoa and Big Red. I don't know if you heard of that Big Red or
No.
barbacoa together.
No, I have
So
not.
in San Antonio, I don't know if you ever heard of Big Red. So it's like a red drink, like a
The
soda.
drink,
It's
because
like
I
a
was
soda
thinking,
pop.
because there's
Yeah.
there's either two. It's the fucking chewing gum or the fucking soda. So let me guess, they
No. So
marinate it? They marinate it?
yeah. So like, oh, you
Ugh.
mean the Big Red?
No, we don't get that up here, but I know of the drink.
Yeah, so the Big Red is awesome, dude. Like Big Red is like the best. Like in San Antonio, like a lot of people get like Big Red soda, and it's awesome, dude. It's like a cream. Like it tastes like a red soda but cream. And
Well,
then
that's what we call cream soda up here, basically.
yeah, exactly, cream soda. Yeah, but it
In
tastes way
fact, it's actually
sweeter.
red up here too.
Really?
Yep.
so so San
Okay, so I
Antonio.
figured it out.
So our stable over here, like in San Antonio, I don't know if anywhere else is like Sundays, with your family, Big Red and barbacoa.
So, like,
With
it's not.
flour
Hold on.
tortillas.
Explain to me. It's not marinated in that stuff, is it?
No, it's
Oh,
not. It's
thank
just a
God.
regular
Okay, I
drink.
was. I actually for a few minutes, I was actually thinking it was marinated.
Yeah.
It's like how some people use Coke to fucking marinate. Ugh. But like
No, I
okay. So
don't. That's
basically, it's
weird.
like let's go out for that and a drink, a nice fucking
Yeah,
Big
I
Red.
mean, that
Okay.
that's a week. That's a weekend stable. Like on a Sunday, it's like, hey man, let's go get some Big Red and barbacoa.
And you
You
think
know what I
they
mean?
like
Some a
do the
slice of
flavors fit for
avocados.
you? Like, is that something
Yeah,
that a
they do.
combo is
Yeah,
a good?
that was I was born and raised on that. Yeah, man,
Okay.
like Big Red and barbacoa.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Born and
dude. So
raised. Yeah, when
it's
you
Big
say
Red and
born and
barbacoa
raised,
for
that's really
everybody.
all you have to say. Like, clearly, this is something that is dear and clear to his heart and to his childhood. So there's no point to question any
Yeah,
further because clearly this is a
don't
staple in fucking South Texas.
don't do it. Don't do it. No. YR probably knows, like about that too. So yeah. But yeah, so we or whoever's in Texas probably knows about that little secret that we have
I'm gonna
here.
have to get
So
some of that Big Red shipped up to me. And if it's good
yeah,
enough to
dude, I
fucking
mean,
start
shoot, let me
fights, it's good
know.
enough for me to fucking order.
Let me know, man. Let me know your address or whatever, and I'll ship some to you for real. I'll get you some, brother. Like if you want to, I'll get you some,
That'd be
and
down
I'll
for
send
that.
you
Yeah.
some up. Yeah, dude, 12 pack or
Oh, and you know what
24
I'd
pack,
love
6 pack.
would be a bottle of Youngling or Yingling, whatever it's called, because we don't get that beer here, and I hear it's like the oldest beer in America, and I heard apparently it's not bad. It's not the greatest,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
apparently it's not bad. So I'd be
Well,
willing
I
to.
mean, it's like over here in Texas, Lone Star. I don't know if you heard of Lone Star beer, but Lone Star over here is like I think it's like a Texas beer. But that's
We
I
are
mean, it's
deprived
not
here in
like
Canada. Please don't remind me of how few products we have available to us. Dude, we have a
yeah,
government agency that runs the liquor cartel, and they still
wow,
won't give us fucking access to certain American products. So, like, again,
wow,
Yingling, been around for fucking ever. I mean,
yeah,
it's considered
yeah,
like a staple. How is it that we can't get it here in Canada unless you go to fucking Alberta or somewhere where you just pop over the border because they're fucking much cooler there and you just buy it from the store and you go back? No, like here in
yeah,
Ontario, it's just like the government, the granny government fucking looking over you like, are you sure you want to fucking drink? It's like, it's my choice. I'm an adult. Leave me alone. I want product. I don't want to pay. Dude, we overpay on liquor at least by 50%. So everything that we're
wow.
at least, okay? So yeah, that's why, that's why we're where are
So,
we at?
like, let me ask you a question real quick. So, as far as like your soda, like soda pop and all that, like for a 20 ounce of soda, how much is it over there? Like just a regular bottle of Coke.
20 ounce would be just under, I'm guessing that's 780 milliliters. Sorry, I've got to convert commie to freedom here. So you speak freedom, I speak commie because I'm in Canada.
Yeah, just like a regular bottle, just like a regular bottle, like a plastic bottle,
Hold
like a
on,
regular one.
give me a second to try to calculate. So half a liter.
Okay.
Um, let me just look at an image here just to be absolutely certain. Okay,
No worries.
that will be $2.99. You might,
What?
yeah, I know, I know,
Three
I know,
dollars?
I know. You might be able to find some places at $1.99, but I've seen
Oh yeah,
them.
it's like $1.08 over here.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
these things at fucking 99 cents or fucking
Yeah.
a
Well,
dollar
yeah. Just like
25 at
gas.
most. Like these are like
Yeah.
these
Oh
are
my god.
used to be these things were sold at fucking vending machines. You put in a buck and they would give it to you. That it.
Yeah.
50
Exactly.
cents for a
Wow.
can,
Yeah.
a buck
It's
for
cheap
a
over here.
fucking bottle.
Yeah, in San Antonio, it's cheap over here. It's a cheaper price of living. Like you could find basically a house for like 200,000. Man, I'm talking about it like a 2-story house.
Wow.
Nice, dude.
Very nice.
That's it. Yeah, I mean it's cheap living here.
So Nicky Nines also wants to ask you because he's been asking to me for me to do a show on this topic for a while, and this is again beyond my pay grade, and I don't know. I have to do a lot of research for it, but he wants to know what are your top three seasons slash spices.
Oh man, dude. Okay, and you're gonna probably down me on this, but comino. So I'm Mexican, comino. So I love comino. That's a staple right now in my right now it's comino, and then it's gonna be garlic, right? But
Actually,
obviously I want fresh.
cumin is not a bad thing at all. I mean, like
Yeah,
it's a little strong, but it depends on how much you use. But
yeah. Celery. I don't know if you like celery seed, but
I do,
I love
I
celery
do.
seed. Yeah, so
That's great
that's
in
in my cabinet
soups.
all the time. Yeah, I know, and I love soups.
Oh, you
So
like soups?
celery.
Okay, okay. Here's
Yeah.
a bigger question before you continue. Yeah, I'm gonna
Hmm.
derail this entire thing. What's better, soups or
Okay.
stews?
Soups. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's an issue of contention
Yeah.
between us.
Well, not really.
I'm a
Like
stew
I don't know.
man.
It just depends. I like stew too. Depends on meat. Like because meat is stew. Like you know what I mean. You can make a lot of stews, but meat too. But like stew has a lot of flavor too. But I mean, I like soup as well.
I
So
love a
a nice
stew
soup
that's
and a
so
sandwich.
thick you can stand on it.
Some people like stew. Some people like soup. So you know what I mean.
No
So
hate
it's
here.
all
No
good,
hate
man.
here.
That's cool.
As long
Yeah.
as you can
So I
place
mean,
it in a
it's
bowl, then we can see peace.
yeah. But, I
So
mean,
okay,
dude, the chef life is
cumin,
great.
cumin was the first one that you said. What else? What other two?
Yeah, so cumin, paprika. I love to have paprika. So like, it's just a flavor component. You can put a lot of stuff on paprika and make it taste better, like chicken, meat, anything. Like
And it adds a smoky flavor
that
too.
it has smoky flavor. I put a lot of stuff with paprika. You can marinate with paprika. You can do anything. It's real versatile. That's what I like about paprika, is that too. So I like that stuff.
I
So
love it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
No, I was just saying I
So
like it.
that yeah, it's awesome. And then obviously salt. You got to have that salt.
Glad you left the
So
best for
I love
last.
salt. So
I was waiting to
yeah,
see. It's like, okay, is this chef really gonna potentially ignore the king of fucking of additions? Like, because
that's
you
what
can't
makes
do
everything
anything
better, man.
without salt.
Yeah. So it's like comino, paprika, and salt. Those are my three I must have.
Okay.
If not, I become a cranky chef, and I become
Where's
a
my
bastard.
paprika?
Yeah, I get pissed off and things like that. But I mean, but that's me generally. I'm cool, but don't piss me off, and I'll be all right. So yeah, that's how I am in a nutshell. I'm pretty old school when it comes to stuff like that. But yeah, man. So the chef life is a crazy life, man. I think of it more as it's a lifestyle. Like not everybody can be a chef, and being a chef is a lifestyle. It's you live it, man. I mean, not, people don't understand that, man. It's you live the life, and not a lot of people understand that. We don't have regular 9 to 5 jobs. I mean, yeah, I work in a community right now, a retirement resort, but still, I get off late too. Like just I get late hours still, regardless. So, and you get the ass beat in you, and just it makes you stronger, and it makes you a stronger person, and it makes you more tough and
I
more,
bet.
yeah, and I'm more of an alpha male, and it makes me more alpha because I run this kitchen. This is the way I run it, and people can kiss my ass if
So
they don't like it.
who's a better chef, you or your girl?
My girl. So, um, the way I say that is because she's a home cook, right? And she doesn't know all
You
the
like
cuisine.
casero?
Yeah, yeah, and and I like to have my balls because
Yeah,
I mean,
well.
if she's listening to this, she's gonna say, yeah, she's gonna say what, and I can't get
Well,
laid.
that
You know what I
is
mean?
the acceptable answer. Your girlfriend is always correct.
Exactly. So that's what it is, and and go from there. But yeah, man. So
But
it's a
did she
it's
ever
a
ask you to
lifestyle.
cook for her a specific meal? And if so, what is that?
So yeah, she's asked me to cook like some stuff. Like she'll ask me to cook like a steak because she loves the way I do steak.
Okay.
So yeah, so she's told me to cook like a ribeye, and I cook ribeyes for her, and that's actually how I got it. Like how
Where
you're
you got
dating
her.
and stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, is the cooking. It's not really the looks or nothing, but it's more of like the cooking. I mean, you don't have to be like the best looking guy, man. I'm telling you, a lot of cooks and chefs pull a lot of hot girls
Well, actually,
because
there's a saying by a guy from Canada that did a show that says, if you can't be handsome, at least be handy.
exactly, dude. And so I mean, it's good. Like cooking, and it's been scientifically proven that women like a man that can be in the kitchen. For
Yep.
some reason, they like it, and there's something about like standing in the kitchen and moving around and actually cooking that women love. And I don't know if they'll pick like a lumberjack dude over a cook, but there's science proving it about cooking. There's something that
Well, it's
women
the
like
alpha
about it.
male, it's the provider. And I mean, all you got to do is look
Yeah.
at the record and see that the majority of high end chefs are men.
Yeah, you think about it. Back in the day, our people old school be like, "Oh well, get in the kitchen and being a, you know what I mean?"
Are these people ignoring the chefs that literally change the landscape, whether it be King Henry's chefs, the chefs
Yeah,
of Louis XIV or 17 or 16? I mean, like, how many other fucking chefs Queen Elizabeth's, chefs and such? Like, how many of these
yeah,
people have radicalized gastronomy and just cooking in general by, serving monarchs and again being men? This wasn't a woman's job there. This was to serve the king, the highest fucking role possible.
hmm and the way it is right now, it's all male driven. You think about it. There's like guys back in the day. Oh well, the women's in the kitchen. Really, the woman's not in the kitchen. They're all men, dude. It's all
Not in the
high. It's
restaurant. Maybe at home, but
no,
not in the restaurant.
no. Home cooking is totally different than restaurant cooking. It's totally different. And it's like, how was your work today? Well, shit, it was bad. So I had this, I had that. I almost bruised myself. I almost cut myself. I almost burned my finger off. I have all these burns everywhere. So I mean, there's that challenge right there, of it being. It's just a male-dominated field, and you have all this testosterone everywhere. You have dudes cussing. Like none of them went to school. Like maybe one went to school, but it's all dominated from like prison people. You go there, there's ex-convicts in kitchens, and those are honestly some of the best cooks I've ever met. Have been like ex-cons that's coming out of the joint, man, and they learned their skill in the freaking in prison, and they just they got took under a chef, and then they learned, And dude, those are like the best. Like that's who's cooking your food, really. You have illegal immigrants, you have all types of people, all types of like walk of life in the kitchen, and those are the people cooking your food without no education, making shit money, like 11, $12 an hour, and those are the people making your food. Illegals, you have refugees, you have all types of people making your food, ex-convicts. You have all these hardcore ass people tatted up and everything cooking your food, cooking a filet mignon, a New York strip, a ribeye, all this fancy ass food coming from an immigrant cook or coming from just, a low scale cook, but that delivers high quality, high cooking food.
Yep.
And it's just like, what? Yeah, honestly, those are like
Well, that's
the
what a lot of
dwellers,
people
man. Those
don't,
are the ones.
consider. Like I remember, there was a bunch of bars I used to visit back in the '90s, late '90s, and we'd get cozy with the kitchen staff and stuff. And basically, the entire kitchen staff was Sri Lankan. It might have been an
Yeah,
English pub, it might have been an Italian bar, but everyone working behind the scenes was fucking Sri Lankan.
yeah, and that's awesome. And then we celebrate by having a family meal in the kitchen. I don't know if anybody knows what a family meal is, but it's called a family meal in the kitchen. That's where all the servers, the cooks, they all get in. They all get into like it's like a family in the kitchen. So they all like the cook or the chef is preparing a meal for them, and then they eat it. The dishwasher, the cook, like at a restaurant, and we just cook whatever for them, and then we put it there, and then everybody eats it like a family. And it's called a family meal.
Oh,
That's real
interesting.
important because that brings up all your morale in the kitchen as well. To have that family meal in the kitchen, that's real important, because it brings the morale. It brings everybody together. You work as a team, and that's what it's about. You can't do everything yourself. So obviously, you need all your staff.
Yep.
And then it's like I say, your staff will have your back 100%. If you're good to them, you treat them good, you don't treat them like crap, the staff will have your back, man, 100%. And then if you want to take a day off, oh, no, chef, take a day off, man. Like, you've been working 16, 17 hours a day. Shit, I mean, you're tired, bro. You haven't had a day off. Shit, we'll take care of the kitchen for you. You treat them good, and they treat you good. And you treat them like shit, they're not going to have your back. And, dude, you're going to get your ass in trouble because you know what I mean? Like, they have to have your back, and that's the way it is. You treat me good, I'll treat you good, I'll have your back, they have your back. And that's how it works, in the restaurant industry and, food service in general.
Now on the screen right now, I've been playing for a bit. I'm gonna just transition it a bit to something similar, but fish, grilled fish on the barbecue. Now, yes, many people are somewhat adverse to this because it's not something they're used to, especially when you put the entire fish on there and grill it with the skin and with the head on, with the eyes and such. And typical North American convenience apathy makes them say, ew, gross, ignoring that 95% of the world literally eats like this and has no problems with it. So appearances obviously don't mean a goddamn thing. And, if you don't want to eat an eyeball, don't eat it. I mean, it's as simple as that. But
Yeah.
this is a very quick way of cooking fish, which is effective and delicious. And again, it's been gutted already, dummies. So you're not going to be eating, like, picking through fucking, an egg sack and fucking kidneys and shit. You're getting the fucking flesh. So I think people's aversion to fish is, I don't know, promulgated from the fact of the appearance. But I can't necessarily blame the mother because of the fact that, for example, me in Ontario, yeah, I could get fresh fish, but it's going to cost me because, yeah, they'll fly it in. But I want, fish that was caught literally the night before or the day before and shipped to me as quick as possible. Still going to get to me within maybe 24 hours or so, but I'm going to pay for that. So, other than that, what do I have left? I have frozen fish, or I have fish that, they might try to convince me is fresh and it's not. Or I can try to get local, which is even more challenging. So my point is that I can understand why people might be adverse because bad fish is shit. And when you've got a fish that smells like fish, it's bad. Fish shouldn't smell like, stinky fish. You still there, Gabe?
Yes, sir. I am.
Okay. No, I'm just waiting for you to add in any knowledge. You know
Yeah.
more
So
about fish than I do. You live there, on the Gulf. You have experience making this stuff, and
definitely.
yeah,
I
you can
mean,
speak to
shit.
this.
I love fish, man. I love, man, taking the bones out, taking the pin bones out. Have you ever filleted fish? I'm sure you have.
No, actually, I've never filleted fish before, but I'm looking to get trained in that. And I've been
Yeah.
looking into videos. That like the thing is, I do like to fish, and there's a lot of good yellow perch around me. So what I'm and it's apparently coming from good sources. There's very little pollution, so I could spend a few hours, maybe grab 3, 4 fish, have myself a nice little fish bake right there on the fucking shore, and as long as I can cut the fish effectively, fillet it, so that I can get as much meat as out as possible, then it'll be worthwhile. But
Yeah.
I don't want to
I
butcher
mean,
the fucking
if
meat.
you use, yeah, you want to get a lot of yield out of all that, all that yield, all that meat. So depending on how big a fish you catch, some people catch big old fish and they can get, I would say, like 10, 50, like 9, 8 pounds out of what they're, or maybe 10, 11 pounds of meat, you know,
From what I hear, the
depending
smaller
on,
perch are the better ones for me to get.
they are. Yeah. And it's better, more flavor too.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's just, it's awesome, man. I like all fish. Cod, man, I love codfish. Codfish is awesome. And
Cod's
codfish is
good.
actually versatile too.
Yep, cod is great. I like salmon. Salmon's always
Oh,
great.
salmon's awesome. What have you had? Ahi tuna or mahi mahi?
I've never had mahi mahi. Um,
Oh, man. How
I
about
may have
snapper?
had that other tuna.
Yeah, ahi tuna. That is good. It's expensive, but
Yeah,
man,
that's the
it's good.
problem as well, is
Good.
that some of these cuts are really expensive.
Yeah,
And
and you know what? Fish used to be the poor man's like meat. Now it's
lobster.
like
Lobster used to
ridiculously
be the
cheap.
poor
Yeah.
man's meat. Now it's fucking just
Oh
like
my
caviar.
god.
Sturgeon caviar used to literally be food for poor people. From the 12th
Yeah.
century onwards, they learned how to farm it, but it was considered poor people food, so they would use it in their porridge and stuff. And only now are you okay? One of those little fucking tins. I don't look. The last time I looked into caviar prices was the 90s. Okay, I haven't looked in recently. A little tin of sturgeon caviar, Gabe. How much are we looking at these days?
Oh, dude, a little stinge is probably like a caviar. You're
Yep.
looking at about 107, about $100 for a little thing of caviar.
How much?
That's how honestly, that's how much caviar.
How
About
much?
$100
Hundred
for like a
bucks.
little thing
Okay.
of caviar. a
Yeah.
hundred.
So inflation has carried on as I
Yeah,
suspected.
that's what you're looking for. A little thing.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah,
$50 when I
really. I
looked
mean,
at it
caviar
in the
was poor
90s.
man's. Now it's all rich.
Yeah, but it is
Yeah, it's like $100 now.
it is good though. That's the thing though. It is actually really good, and it's not really something you're going to be eating in abundance anyways. Not just because it's been reclaimed as food for the elite, but it's not really necessarily something that you have abundance to or necessity to. So I don't believe that you'd be eating it very often.
Yeah.
But it's enjoyable.
That's it's like,
What's that?
that's something like yeah, like I was saying back in that's something like caviar would be like a special dinner that you're going out, with your girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
Like once, like not once in a lifetime. Some people it is once in a lifetime. They don't have that money, so I mean that's something that not everybody eats. Like like what you said, that not everybody can try, but I highly recommend that.
Yeah, definitely worth it.
That caviar is awesome.
I prefer that over beluga.
Yeah,
Beluga caviar is
I've
not
heard
my.
about beluga. Yeah, that is crazy.
It's just fucking fish roe.
But
It's just
yeah,
fucking
man,
fish eggs, and the bigger they are, and the more like they appear like fucking bubble tea, the more I fucking want to fucking puke.
Wow. And are you do you butcher, or have you ever butchered? Are you good with that? Or
No, I've never done that either, and that's also something I've looked into because just the whole idea, first of all, like to me, self-sustainability is something that I've always been interested in, and like I've always had fantasy of having my own little farm. But the ability to be able to butcher is
nice.
something I think is extremely important and a skill that I would love to learn.
Mhm. That's what I would probably do if I wasn't a chef. I'd probably be a butcher. I like to buy meat and butcher and cut it all up, and it's cheaper like that. Like when we're doing at work, we're doing the filet mignon, we're getting the fillets, and we're utilizing them, and we're cutting them so freaking cheaper than buying already done and cryovacs, and you're like looking about $240. You know what I mean, for a big like a box of about 40, like probably 40 to 50. You're looking at about 200 bucks.
So tell me,
But you can get one for like $100
what's
or
your
like $85.
experience with octopus?
Oh wow, man! So I've done octopus once, and octopus is crazy. Well, you think about the tentacles. So I mean, it's like one time I did octopus. That one time I did octopus, and it was still alive.
Really?
so, so the fishmonger brought it to us, and I was like, "What the shit?" And it was still alive. The octopus was still alive. So some places you still have to you have to kill them. Like they're alive octopuses. So you have to like boil them out, and you have to stab them like 3 times in the head, and you
Yep.
have to boil them for before they die because they're very hard to kill. I don't know if you
Yes,
heard
they
octopus are
are.
hard to kill. And they're very slimy, and
And they
so I
fight.
got it,
They fight back.
and they fight. Yeah, and they fight back. Yeah. So it's crazy. Like I don't know if you ever killed lobster before as well. Lobsters, man, like if you ever did a lobster, they're like, they say that, they talk. Lobsters talk, everything talk, they're animals. And you can actually the like a lobster too, when you're killing it, you can actually, and you're boiling it, you can actually hear it like die. And it sounds like they're in pain. And I'm sure they are because they're actually getting boiled alive.
Well, I've seen
So
that some places dispatch them right before they boil them. They just put the knife in the
yeah,
cross at the back, and they
yeah,
just slice in down, and then they're done.
yeah, they're done. Yeah. I mean, you think about it, it's like I have respect for all animals, because they give their life up. Being a chef, you respect nature, and you respect animals, and they give their life up for us to eat. And that's the way I see it. Like, I mean, look, I mean, the pigs, the cows, and you see them, they're alive, and it's like they give their life, and survive, and that's what it's about. And you have to respect all animals, I think, but all the cows, the pigs, it's nature, and you got to respect them because we're eating, and now you know what I mean. That they just think, oh, you just eat, forget it. But you think about it in the stores. I mean, it's all pretty and processed in a nice package, but you don't look at that. How they slaughter them and how. I mean, they really do. So
Yeah.
and you got to respect nature. I mean, nature is its beauty. You know what I mean? To a chef, like a nice orange. Those are these things that that people take for granted. That like just the respect. Like us chefs, we're cooking it, but they're like nature's its artist, basically. We cook the food and we do all this and we prep it and all this stuff, but nature is an artist. You look at it as like an orange, it's a nice, beautiful orange or a peach, right? But I mean, it's nature. We didn't make the peach, we didn't make the orange. It came out that pretty, vibrant color, just like kiwi. You know what I mean? Look at that beautiful kiwi. It's nice and brown on the outside, but it's green on the inside. And it's nature is the artist. You know what I mean? Like the way a grape looks. I mean, these are these things, and obviously you can tell I have passion for it because I don't just it's a grape. you know, Orange is orange. All this stuff is nature, and the nature is the real artist. Of cooking it to create these chefs things and these dishes. But nature is the real artist as far as it, they, it's it created it. You know what I mean? So it's just a creation of it, and you respect it, and I believe in that. You know.
Yeah. So, with regards to barbecues and grilling and picnics and stuff, the next topic I was going to raise was the sides that you can include, and obviously there's a lot,
Oh,
but
I love potato. Do you like potato salad?
it is one of my favorite things on this planet.
Yeah, so I love potato salad. Every time I'm doing a barbecue, I like a side of Mexican rice and a potato salad. If we're doing that, you know what I mean? Chicken quarters, brisket, stuff like that. But me personally, I always do a side of potato salad and a side of Mexican rice and like sausage. That is like the go-to for me, and some beans. You know what I mean? Some like refried, no, not refried, but ranch style beans. Do some ranch beans. Add your bacon in that, things like that. That's the ultimate for me. Like I love barbecue.
Sounds
So
very, very southern. I know that you guys
yeah,
have specific sides for your barbecues and your grillings and such.
definitely, and you gotta have that beer too. You gotta have that side of beer as well.
But up here, for example, I was going to talk about the fact that when it comes to doing barbecues and stuff, salads obviously are great, especially as sides, but they also really help refresh your palate.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Yeah.
whether it be a potato salad that's chilled and fresh, it could be coleslaw, it could be
Oh, I love
um,
coleslaw. Do you like coleslaw?
yeah, I do.
Oh, dude, I know. Tell me about it. So I love coleslaw too.
And there's
Then
different
also I
types
like,
though. I know there's the creamy
yeah,
style coleslaw, and then there's the one that's just does it. It has more vinegar than anything else. But like,
I like the creamy
I
coleslaw.
like it.
Yeah, I like creamy. So I like citrus. I don't know if you have like oranges or you put like some type of zest in your coleslaw, but I like a creamy coleslaw with sugar. I don't. I mean, the other one's pretty tart. I don't. But those are my taste buds. Everybody's different, but I like a nice creamy, sugary, and then a little bit tangy, like
I
a little
I
bit
like the
orange. If you
tangy
ever put that
bitter
in there.
coleslaw.
Yeah, that is good too. So I mean, it's all different. I like the sugary type that's creamy. You know what I mean? That has a little bit of tang too, like or sweet. But I prefer
But
sweet
that's
because
the thing though is that a lot of people the point I'm raising is the fact that sides are specifically meant to complement the main. And
yes,
it's
exactly.
not just about, oh, okay, well, obviously you just can't eat meat, so you're going to have to balance it with something else. That's true. But it's about the flavors. So you're not going to
Yeah,
fucking, I don't know, combo hamburgers with fucking spaghetti. That's not proper. But
yeah,
like by choosing the proper sides and knowing what those flavors are and how they complement and or contrast the flavors of the main is what fucking makes a great meal.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's true. All those sides make everything pop in your mouth. And I don't know if you ever heard of a thing called umami.
I've heard of it. I don't believe I've had it before, but maybe
Yeah,
I
so
have.
umami is a different. So like umami is a different like flavor. So like how you have like sweet, tangy, all these things. So umami is a different flavor profile in your mouth. These are all like umami flavor. It's like different types of flavors in your mouth. That's what it basically stands for. Like umami,
Okay.
is that it's yeah. So
So it's
that's what
multiple
it.
flavors. So what is it change from
Yeah,
one flavor to another?
yeah, so you're doing
Hmm.
sweet, tangy. You taste all these things in your mouth. That's basically what
Oh,
umami.
okay. So
Yeah.
what does
So
umami have to do with this?
no, I'm just saying that's umami is just umami. I like umami.
But
It's actually a fifth taste. So because there's different like sweet, sour, bitter, salty. So basically, it's like delicious. Like umami's all these things, all these flavor balances inside your mouth.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Uh huh. Definitely.
But yeah, definitely when it comes to sides for barbecue, they're important because they, like we said, complement the main and provide that variance in flavors that just combine so well. But
Definitely.
this sort of like merges into like the whole idea of picnics and stuff, and I've always loved picnics and being able to go out to the park and enjoy a day at the beach and come out and go right to eat and have this big meal presented for you and stuff. It's definitely something that I enjoyed in my childhood and touches me in regards to my experiences with barbecue and grilling and summertime. And yeah, it's definitely one of those great experiences.
Yeah, definitely. I love all that stuff too. You know, there's nothing like a nice picnic. You know, with your family, your loved ones, and then obviously it's the food is the king there, right? So that's why you go and have a good time and
And the
awesome. I
and the
mean,
food is the experience as well because it's an interaction. You have somebody who's obviously tending the grill. You have people that are there helping them out. People that are prepping other things. Somebody might be making a fruit salad, cutting up a watermelon. The other person is, just prepping the buns. And it's just a whole experience of summer. And, it's just a whole meal that's shared as a congregation, essentially, which again further um, just reiterates why these things are such great, events. Is that, it's an opportunity to enjoy with other people, and that's why they're so popular is because you have the ability to cook a large amount of food for a large amount of people and maintain a social atmosphere and have a good time.
yeah. Well, speaking about that, like as far as cooking for a lot of people, most chefs don't know how to cook for small amounts of people. That's like one of my hardest things also is like cooking for just about 4 to 5 people. It's crazy because when I'm doing an amount, I'm thinking about like a lot.
That's
So
funny.
like if
I'm
you're
the
doing
opposite, but that's just because I'm an amateur. I'm always like, figuring out, okay, how can I feed a proper dinner party of six? Because that to me is the
yeah.
proper number, six.
So mine is like six. If you say six, I'm thinking 16.
Yeah.
Like in my head, that
Well, that's why
that's
you're a
like the
pro, because
hardest.
you're thinking like, no, this ain't no fucking little amateur joint here. We're fucking feeding people, and we got a lineup of hungry people outside. So let's fucking chop chop.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing about like me and probably a lot of other chefs is the yields and the leftover. Because I love leftovers too. So if you have a bunch of like leftover stuff, you can always like utilize it in other stuff.
Yes.
And being a chef, you don't want to waste anything. That's like the that sucks is like when you see
That's just an
like
option for
tomatoes.
more creativity. It's like, oh, I've got leftovers. What do I now choose to make with this? I could make anything. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, yeah. It's the
It's not viewed
leftovers
as a
that is the
challenge.
fun
It's more
part.
like it's not viewed as a problem as more as a challenge. It's like I'm not going to waste this. So how am I going to have some fun here? Utilizing all this meat. So it could
Definitely.
could be
There's a lot of stuff you
stew.
can do.
Yeah.
Kebabs, you can either do like leftover meat. You can do some kebabs. You can do all types of stuff,
Yeah, it's a day
and
special or
that's what I
something.
love. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can use all the leftovers and do a chef special, and then run it. You know what I mean? Instead of just
Yeah, I'm gonna have to move to
I got all
Texas.
this meat, I'm telling you, it's a good place to live and it's cheap. It's not like other places. I mean, it
You,
depends on
hey,
where you
you
go,
had me at
but I
guns.
mean, San Antonio is yeah. Oh yeah, the governor actually, our governor actually, yeah, he's crazy man, but yeah, I mean, this guy, yeah, he's done a lot here, but yeah, for yeah, we're good with guns now, so people can pack and use, and it's 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 awesome actually. I love it.
That's what I'm all about. An armed populace is a polite populace.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, Dave. Well, I mean, it was good talking to you and everything
Oh,
like
it's
that. And
absolute
I'm gonna
pleasure to
continue
talk to
doing
you,
what I'm
man.
doing.
A lot of fun.
Yeah,
Learned a lot.
yeah. I'm gonna take a nap.
Oh, I'm sure it's well
Yeah, dude.
deserved.
That's awesome.
Slaving in the kitchen.
Yeah, man. I've been. Yeah, I've been working crazy hours right now, and hopefully, we balance off with staffing, and I don't have to work crazy hours, and go back to kind of being not crazy, but kind of
Well, good luck on
normal-ish.
your staffing ventures. I'm sure that'll be a challenge.
Yeah, yeah. Or actually, our dishwasher's quitting probably like next week. I
Drive
already
up
put
to
his
Home
notice.
Depot and be like, "Hey, Mexicans, you don't want to fucking work on a roof? How about a kitchen?"
Hell yeah, man! You get free meals over here. So
Yeah.
that'll probably that'll probably entice them and stuff. But yeah, man. So I mean, it's good, bro. But like I said, man, if you want that big red, let me know. Give me or whatever. So I can ship it to you. I can get you some, and then we go from there or whatever. And do what we got to do.
Sounds good, but I'm so happy that you were finally able to connect with us here and to finally come on air and share your
I know
knowledge.
I've been wanting to for so long, man. It's just I've been busy with everything, and this COVID really fucked up this industry.
Well, I find it's very cool
So
that an actual chef is interested in what a fucking amateur has to say, and it's been fun to have you along for the fucking ride.
hell yeah, bro. But let me know, man. I want to do more shows, man. I want to get involved
Yeah, man.
and all that
Actually,
stuff.
if you can, like, here's the thing. It's this is another reason why it's been hard for me to make more episodes. Is that I'm running out of ideas. It's hard for me. Like
Yeah.
Nikki Nine suggested a good one. Do an episode on spices. Now that's a
Ooh, yeah,
challenge for
that'd be
me,
awesome.
but that's something that can be delved into deep. But the thing is, though, what else? Like I've covered so many different topics. I don't want to repeat them. I don't have to do another video
Yeah.
on pizza.
Well, I don't. I mean, I don't want to just be a part of the chefing thing. Like, I want to be a part of the community. Like, I've been here, but I mean, I'm not saying like do like
Anytime,
a
man.
tip or something.
Anytime you want to
Yeah.
fucking do a too many chefs, that's actually what I'd love to do. Is like again, the more people on the show, like imagine if we had three people here arguing how to make pasta right now. That's what I want. That because it's the fucking
Don't
show's
let,
name.
but don't let Bullfrog do it, dude. No,
No,
I'm just
no, he doesn't know how to cook. You saw
yeah,
that
that shit
abomination,
was
right?
crazy, dude. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I was in the chat. I was like, "What the fuck is this dude doing?" I was like flipping my head. I was like, "Oh my
Oh yes,
god,
we
dude."
were all fucking going a little berserk there, watching him not cook his rice.
Yeah, but man, like I said, bro, if you're ever in San Antonio or if you're ever gonna go to Texas, hit me up, man. We'll go have a beer or something like that. I know Nicky Nines. I've been trying to like email him too about that, or not email him, but in the chat too. Hey, let's go have a beer or whatever. And yeah, if y'all are down, man, I mean, that'd be awesome, dude.
Well, we'll
So
we'll have to
I don't
figure out
know.
what happens once they finally unlock us here in Canada. So
You're still locked down over there?
they're saying that people are finally going to be able to go into America.
What?
Somewhat. It's really messed up.
So right now, like, let me tell you, like, right now, dude, no one's wearing masks anymore over here in Texas. Like, it says, but do you go to Walmart or you go to like anywhere else, like a Lowe's or Home Depot? But no one's like wearing masks at all, like at all.
Yeah,
Like,
now they're
no one's
now
wearing
they're
masks.
tell now the CDC is telling everyone, oh well, vaccinated people should go back to wearing masks indoors. See how quick people are gonna rush to that. No, they're done. No one's gonna
Yeah,
be people are like gonna be like fuck that shit. No, not doing it.
it's all bullshit, dude. This COVID shit's bullshit.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
it's a bunch
another
of
show
crap.
altogether.
Yeah, you know that. But I mean, if you want to do a show like that, shit, I have more ammo for that too.
Oh,
So
anytime.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I have a lot of shit to talk about. It's not just a chef thing. I got a lot of shit to talk about.
All right.
So
Well, we look forward to the next time that I do a show because I'll definitely let you know, and maybe we can get you on and stuff, and
okay,
continue to talk.
all right, man. Sounds good.
All right, man. Thanks again for calling in.
Okay, bro. All right, you have a good one, man. Y'all take care.
Same to you, man. That
Okay, bro.
was
Talk to you later.
Gabe Rodriguez, actual chef in the community, and he shared with us some of his knowledge that he has, some of his experience, and yeah, we've been looking forward to connecting with him for quite some time. So thanks again for calling in, man. Great call, great talk, and great insight specifically on the industry itself that many of us sometimes overlook the efforts that, those working do. So remember, there are some of us that support you and know the hardships you go through. So just because Karen, trying to start shit, saying her steak wasn't done enough, doesn't mean that we're not there fucking ridiculing her on your behalf and asking management to have her kicked out because she's treating you like shit. So don't worry. There are people on your side that are looking out for you. But I think we've done a great job today, actually, of covering grilling, barbecue, and picnics. And we actually had the one and only Gabe Rodriguez himself to accompany us on this voyage. A very enjoyable return to Too Many Chefs. Great to have Gabe now back onto Skype. And it'll be a lot easier to contact him now, to have him on shows and such. And we'll be able to not just talk about cooking and all of its intricacies, but he says he's quite interested in talking on other topics that are quite controversial. So I very much look forward to inviting him to join us when we continue to do that. And hopefully, I know I've been dragging my feet here, but I've been trying to just really fine-tune things. But Darkest Realms will start soon. We'll get right back into the mysteries, conspiracies, and unknowns of this world. So perhaps Gabe will join us on that adventure as well. So on that note, I do appreciate all of you who have chosen to spend your time with us here today. I am Devious Dave Rose, and this is Too Many Chefs, episode 19. And we will see you very soon.